weekend we go. Thanks a lot for joining us. We're with you for the next 3 hours. The Reid Wilkins Show with Jay Milne on Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for Edmonton sports, and a lot of things to keep an eye on this weekend. Of course, the headline game is the Edmonton Oilers visiting the Dallas Stars tomorrow afternoon. It's a 2 o'clock game. Our coverage will commence at 1 with the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame show with Tom Gazzola and Hernan Salas. Tom's going to be live at Hudson's in West Edmonton Mall, and then they'll join you after the game for the postgame show. Couple of fun games. I expect them to be fun anyway at Clear Drake Arena, 7 o'clock tonight and tomorrow. Golden Bears hockey team taking on the Saskatchewan Huskies. Huge game this weekend for the Golden Bears football team. We'll dive deeper into that one a little bit later on. And the Oil Kings, who were beaten last night by a very good Saskatoon Blades team, have a Sunday 4 o'clock game, that one in Red Deer. And then they're going to start an extended road trip to the west on Friday. So all some things to keep in mind to talk about today. But, of course, Jay Milne checking in, who had a very fun morning that I know you'll dive deeper into a little bit later. But can you give us just the Coles Notes and a teaser of what you did today?
Well, if you recall, I wore a certain school's hoodie yesterday, and I was involved in a bit of a celebration there this morning. But we will get into that when we present Fired Up, because there were some people fired.
You were the keynote fire-upper at this thing, were you not?
Yes.
At this event.
Yes, the fire-upper. That I should have T-shirts made.
Jay Milne, the fire-upper.
With fire, the bringer of firing up.
That's what you were today.
Yes.
All right. We'll do that during our Fired Up segment for Gemco, which has joined the Reid Wilkins Show every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and they're on the Nielson Show Tuesday and Thursday. Okay, the Oilers looked like a very competent hockey team last night, which I think has been long awaited for many of you. They beat the Nashville Predators 4-2. I thought they... I thought they looked like themselves, if we want to talk about the team that we've seen for the last 2 or 3 years. A conference final team, a second-round team, and a team that went to the Stanley Cup final. They came out early. They got a lot of shots early. I know they eventually allowed the first goal, but I thought, Jay, that was a very steady, thorough performance last night by the Oilers. I know it's not perfect. I know Nashville, of course, had a chance. I mean, that's hockey. There are a lot of games that go like that. Edmonton was the better team. They played like the better team, and I thought they were fully deserving of the victory.
We talked about it yesterday, how the goal would be to go into that game in Nashville the way they ended the game against Philly, right? And that looks like that's what came through. I mean, that's a great team they're playing. They just happen to be 0-4 now. But that is a very solid Nashville team. Big road win, undefeated on the road. I can't imagine how long this streak can go, Reid. Maybe just to one game. We'll see tomorrow.
Right.
But, I mean, hey, they could go 100% on the road this year. I mean, at this point, you can't.
It's still possible.
Is there still a possibility?
You, of course, can participate in the program by texting the EST Inbox, 780-218-9999. We will have our EST Flyaway keyword before 6. We don't tell you exactly when it is, but you'll be using the text line for that. And in the Nasty Chat on YouTube, you can also participate, not just in the show, but with each other, as people often do. If you are on YouTube, give us a thumbs up. We are consistent with our goal. But maybe someday we will raise our goal. But we go for 100 thumbs up every show. We're already a quarter of the way there. So people are knowing that we like the thumbs up, and encourage your friends and family and colleagues to listen and give us a thumbs up as well. VR Montenegro says, Falcons suck, Crusaders rule. What is that a reference to?
I believe he's referring to the Austin O'Brien Crusaders.
AOB.
Yeah.
Now, would they not be based on school size, would they play Facey?
See, when I was there, we played AOB because it was a part of that division. But now, yes, I believe they've changed everything to a 5A, 4A, and I don't think Austin O'Brien would qualify as a 5A, as they are a smaller school.
Okay, all right.
Actually, EST Coup, Matthew Iwanek, is a proud alumnus of Austin O'Brien, as is Tom, I believe.
But AOB's in Edmonton.
Yeah.
So but the schools in Sherwood Park are
Salisbury
Sabres.
Yeah.
and Bev Facey Falcons.
Archbishop O'Brien.
Are they the Crusaders? Maybe that's what he meant.
No.
Because why would he be pointing out an Edmonton team
They're
against
the
the Sherwood
Scots.
Park team?
Well, the Sherwood Park teams have to play Edmonton
They play
teams.
everybody. Okay.
They play St. Albert teams. Spruce Grove
So
teams.
VR Montenegro just showing his high school loyalty.
Yeah,
He's going to like the off-topic topic today if he wants to flash back to his childhood.
He will.
Which we'll get to in about 5 minutes.
He will.
Dudley says, what was with Dustin Nielson shaking Mike Tyson's hand in the picture all about? Good question. We'll try to ask Dustin. Zach Kubish, who does, one of the guys who does our graphics here to promo the shows or show the guests coming up. So Dusty's going to hop. Dusty is, I think he's in Vancouver or he's landing right away. So he'll hop on. We're also going to ask Dusty our off-topic topic. So the Coob put up a picture of Dustin shaking Mike Tyson's hand. I don't know the story behind it. Maybe if I'd worked together with Dustin for a decade and a half, like some people here have. Yeah, Bronco Nick says Dusty introduced him at River Cree a few years ago. So, all right, but there's got to be a story behind it. What was it like to shake Mike Tyson's hand?
Yeah.
How large was his hand? Were you
hands
afraid he was going to crush your hand? Was he going to pick him up like Bam Bam in the Flintstones? Wasn't that Bam Bam that would just pick people up and toss them back and forth?
Reid, we got to talk about your shirt. It's drawing the ire of many of our listeners. For those that are not watching on YouTube and just on the audio stream, Reid is wearing a pink Def Leopard. Now, I cannot confirm or deny that the leopard pictured in that on that shirt is indeed Def.
We don't know.
We do not know, but that is a fire shirt.
Thank you. It's well, first of all, it's very comfortable, which is my main criteria when selecting my clothing. Function before fashion, I always say. It's a very comfortable T-shirt. It's lightweight. It's roomy. I don't like tight, constrictive clothing.
Who does?
Well, I don't know. Some people seem to wear. Sometimes I'll see somebody and I'll think, man, that shirt looks too small on that person, and then I realize, no, that's probably a normal size. I just like looser fitting clothing.
Skinny and or fit people like things that
Could wear, yes, could wear things. Yes, my midsection doesn't allow for that. I've had this shirt a while. Yeah, at my old job, I had a couple colleagues that would always like it when I wore this shirt. I don't think I've broken it out on air here yet, but I thought today's the day. It's a Friday.
It's Friday, baby.
Weather is still okay. Like it's autumn, but it's not snowing or absolutely miserable. The Oilers won a game. We're talking about that. We got some other fun topics and discussions coming up on the show today, so I thought I'm going to wear the pink Def Leppard shirt. Why not?
Can I ask, is that from a tour, or
It's
is that
not.
just a shirt you liked or saw? Is it okay? Is it a shirt? Because sometimes you'll see rock band shirts in like bootlegger or something like that.
Yeah, it's one of those.
Is it? Okay.
I don't know if this one is specifically from Bootlegger, but I got it in a store, probably in Kingsway, or maybe someone got it for me. I can't remember. But yeah, this is not a tour shirt.
Well, I'll be the first to say in person that pink is a lovely color on you.
Calvin, was the shirt originally pink or was it white and something red was put in the wash with it? No, I do know how to organize my laundry generally.
Barry the Cheater says, Reid is a high fashion male. Love it.
So, no, this is the shirt the color was at the time of purchase. Rob from the Grove says Tom Gazzola likes tight shorts. I don't even know tight, just short. Just short shorts from a certain camera angle.
Yeah.
Poor Tom.
Poor
He's such a nice man. Such a nice man. He didn't try to kill me. That's not true. Now, here's a story for you. My mother tried to kill me.
My mother's tried to kill me too, in the same way your mother has too.
Okay.
By accident, I think.
So,
well, obviously.
when I was all right, so here's the thing, and we're going to tie this into the off-topic topic. For William Huff, since 1952, the off-topic topic is describe a time a parent tried to end your life. No, we're not going to do that. The off-topic topic for William Huff, since 1952, William Huff has provided industry-leading graphics with design, print, and install all in-house for thousands of valued clients. Their unparalleled customer service combined with decades of industry expertise and a desire to make every job the very best it can be is what they call the William Huff Advantage. Visit their website at williamhuff.com or give them a shout at 780-454-4536. The off-topic topic is, and I was thinking today, it's fall. Again, it's not awesome outside, but you could still do something outside. When's it dark? Maybe 7-ish now? It's not, dark at 4:30 or 5 as it is in the heart of the winter, late November to mid-February, whenever. So I was thinking, if you're a kid, and maybe even for this one, we'll even go grade 9 or younger, even before high school. What was your favorite thing to do Friday after school? So you get off school on an autumn Friday. What are you doing? Now, I don't know. I think it's a different experience for city kids as opposed to rural kids, perhaps. Maybe depending on what after-school activity you might have had or what your family might do. Maybe you got a bunch of free time. But one thing for me was, now, I usually had to go, with my mother because we lived out of town. You'd go to the old arcade in Evansburg, and you'd pick the movie for that night, and you'd get your 4 quarters, and you'd put them in the video game machine, and maybe a buddy or two was going to be there, and you play for half an hour, and then mom takes you home, and you have dinner, and you got your Friday night. So, but here's what happened once. So I was probably in junior high. And there were these commercials on TV for a new candy bar, a new chocolate bar called a Breakaway Bar. And they had this really intense, serious type of commercial, with some sophisticated looking guy. And I always thought, those are such fun commercials. And it made me want to try the chocolate bar. So one day I'm at the Evansburg arcade after school, and I'm in the process of playing a game. And my mom would, usually just visit with the clerk there while I spent my 4 quarters. And then she's all of a sudden standing beside me as I'm playing a game. And she's like, look, they have breakaway bars here. They hadn't been in Evansburg. And I was like, oh, wow. And she puts it basically so I have no choice but to bite it and swallow it.
I know where this story's going.
And it did not taste good. And she's like, there, it's a breakaway bar. Isn't it good? I was like, I don't know. And she said, well, have another bite. You've been wanting to try them. I was like, I don't know, Mom. It tastes weird. She said, well, have another bite. Have another bite. And I was like, no, Mom, I don't want any more. I don't like it. So, okay. So I finished the game, and I was like, I don't feel very good. So I was like, I didn't like that chocolate bar, Mom. And then she looks at the ingredients. Yes, indeed, it did have peanuts in it. So I didn't have a serious reaction because I don't think it had a ton of peanuts, and I didn't have very much. But I think I had to go get some Benadryl or a quick shot of something, though it wasn't a severe reaction. So that's an after-school story for me, but you don't have to. We want happy stories. What was your favorite thing to do on a Friday after school? Let's, if you can, grade 9 or earlier.
Well, yeah, let's say favorite thing, not most consistent thing, but because, my favorite thing would just be to know that, okay, this is a Friday night. There's a sleepover that's been activated. It's happening. The boys are coming over. We're going to get out Super Spike V-Ball, and we're going to win the World Championship, or we're going to, play FIFA World Cup and win it, or back in that time, that was like N64 days of GoldenEye, James Bond GoldenEye, classic. And you'd play video games. I got to tell a story then.
Okay.
My buddies and I, and this is, I can't remember the exact name, what we called it. But so we lived out on an acreage, right? So my buddies Sickler and Tuckwood would come over, and this would generally happen in the winter, and we would essentially go throughout the neighborhood and creep on other people's houses. I'm not kidding.
This is heartwarming.
But we did it like we were commandos, like we were army people. And
you weren't doing it to actually try to see anything.
We weren't we were, and when I say creep, we were in the ditch in front of their house, which was several hundred yards back.
It was a game.
It was a game
Let's
for us.
Be a character.
I think we called it Commando, actually.
Right.
And you'd jump, and that's when you'd have drifts that come in over the ditches, and you'd run it, and you'd be in a full snowsuit. You'd be ready to go, balaclava. We actually looked like robbers, and someone could probably put together a time and place that we actually, that we could have been convicted of trying to do something silly, but it was all in good, honest fun. It was just teenage boys just getting out and doing silly things, and you jump all the ditches and into the the blown in snow and just act like idiots. It was the time of my life.
You know what? You put that story actually makes perfect sense to me because you were doing something that might seem weird, but in the mindset you were in, it was the most innocent, silly way to have fun. And you made your own
100%.
little game. Like you said, I know you said creep on people, but you actually weren't interested in seeing into their houses or spying on them. It was just like, let's see how close we can get, or
and then
let's pretend we're in a movie or
the
something.
excitement would really come in when a car would be coming through the neighborhood, and we would try and be so hidden in the ditch that nobody would know we were there.
So these are we're sort of looking for, these are almost stories of innocence. You know, that free Friday when you're still young, before there's a job or part-time job in the picture, before you really have to worry about money, before you're worried about dating or the opposite sex or whatever, right? Like, it's sort of that period
Just
of your
the
life
best,
is what I'm worried. Yeah, like you just
didn't care about girls.
You got and maybe you're in an old enough grade that you have homework, but not on. You don't have to do it the Friday night.
That's
you don't
wait
have to
until
do it
Sunday night,
that's
baby.
That's for later on. So that's for me. For me, it was probably going to the arcade. You know, and like I said, my mom might be driving me, but there might be a buddy or two involved, and you fire off your roll of quarters and you pick a movie for that night. I just remember that really fondly.
And my mom, didn't actually try to kill me, but it was a similar incident where she had been baking with something that that had hazelnuts or traces of it in it, and But my brother-in-law, they actually did try to kill me. I can tell that story another time. They did it on purpose because they thought my nut allergy when I was dating their sister, who's now my wife, was just that's just a load of crap. He's just trying to get sympathy. And so they actually, I'll just say it. They hid those horse shell or horse, they're like a really heavy hazelnut chocolate. It's in the shape of a shell.
Oh, that's mean.
They put a box of them opened under the bed in where we were sleeping.
Oh my God.
And like, my hazelnut allergy is so intense that if there was a jar of Nutella in Maddie's office, I'd be sneezing and my eyes would be watering now. So I was like this all night and wondering what the heck's going on. So I woke up, my face was swollen like Martin Short when he got stung by that bee.
In was that Inner Space?
Yeah.
I think it was Inner Space.
And then they came clean and said that they had done this. And my wife was not happy with them.
Bronco Nick, this is great. We would go to the 7-Eleven and play Double Dragon, Russian Attack, or Track and Field with a Slurpee and a Coffee Crisp. That is excellent. C-Run simply says shinny at the rink. Yeah, that would be great. Maybe a little later than this time of year, but probably before it's deathly. Well, I guess you could still play when it's incredibly cold.
Dr. John loved playing street hockey after school as a kid. Lived in a little cul-de-sac, so hardly any cars drove by and interrupted us. That's a good one. Me and my buddies would always love this time of the year. We lived by Lake Ontario. I'm going down to the creek and watching the salmon and big trout round up the creek. That was spectacular. Tube socks, Friday night skating, and necking behind the arena. After.
Oh, my goodness.
He says this was in grade 6 and 7. Wow.
Tube socks.
Frisky.
Advanced in many ways. All right. That is our off-topic topic for William Huff. We'll get to more of your responses as we move on. Dusty's going to check in, like I said. We're going to break down more from the Oilers game in the next segment, and then I'm going to have some something that was recorded last night in the Oilers game as my jumping-off point for the top 3 for food sausages a little bit later on. We have a sports update with Zach Kubish, presented by Sit and Sleep.
On the ice, it's the Hurricanes against the Penguins, the Sharks facing the Jets, and the Avs hosting the Anaheim Ducks. In the lone CFL game, the Ticats kick off against the Stampeders, while in the NFL, Jordan Mailata and Dallas Goedert of the Eagles are out this week, with Mailata hitting the IR for at least 4 games. In New York, the Dodgers look to eliminate the Mets in Game 5 of the NLCS, while in Cleveland, it's Game 4 between the Yankees and the Guardians, with the Yankees hoping to tie the ALCS at 2 games apiece. This sports update has been brought to you by Sit and Sleep. The wait is over. Sit and Sleep is now open. Celebrate with 20,000 square feet of savings on the trendiest furniture, home decor, and mattresses. Apply for your Sit and Sleep card today to make no payments for 18 months interest-free. Sit and Sleep. Find them beside Planet Fitness in South Edmonton Common, or check them out online at sitandsleep.ca. Right after the break, the Reid Wilkins Show continues. I'm Zachary Kubish, keeping you up to date.
Ready for an unforgettable sports experience? It's the EST Flyaway to LA. Presented by the 780. Listen daily for the EST Flyaway keyword. Once you hear it, text us at 780-218-9999 for your chance to qualify to fly to LA. Round trip flights for 2, hotel and car rentals, all to go see Edmonton face off against either LA or Anaheim. Plus, experience the brand new Intuit Dome as the Clippers tip off against the Warriors, and top it all off with the Rams kicking off against the Cardinals at SoFi Stadium. This is more than just a trip. This is the ultimate sports experience. The EST Flyaway to LA, presented by the 780 and Edmonton Sports Talk. Your clear choice for Edmonton sports.
Fuge Sausages makes their meat with nothing but the best local ingredients. From chicken, beef, and pork, their gluten-free sausages are packed with flavor. Every single bite. Get a 10% discount when mentioning Edmonton Sports Talk in-store or use the code EST when shopping online at fugesausages.ca. Plus, you get free delivery on orders of $100 or more. Find them at 6736 99th Street. Fuge Sausages. You can't beat our meat.
Hey Edmonton, ready to take advantage of lower rates and better pricing? South Fort Chevrolet in Fort Saskatchewan has you covered. From rugged trucks to sleek SUVs. And with over 40 years in business, you can trust that you're getting the best deal on your new ride. As the proud title sponsor of the Nielson Show, EST listeners can drive a little to save a lot with South Fort Chevrolet's transparent pricing and down-to-earth sales team. Visit us today in Fort Saskatchewan or online at southfortchev.com.
Don't feel like working? Join the Hangout. You never know what you might hear. Weekday mornings 9 to 11 on EdmontonSportsTalk.com.
All right. Zach Kubish in the Nate Ooks jersey today. Where'd you get that, Coop?
Thrifting.
Oh, but you went to Nate.
I did go to Nate.
But you didn't get an Ooks jersey while at Nate.
Now, in my final year there, they did introduce that you could buy jerseys like at the store. They didn't have them for the longest time while I was there. Well, the year and a half that I was on campus, but they weren't, up to tip-top player shape. If that makes sense. It wasn't made the same. So I bought this lovely jersey for $15. I think it's one of their jerseys from over 10 years ago. It's an older jersey for sure.
Okay. Looks good. I did a few games because we could do whatever we wanted, basically. Well, not whatever we wanted, but for when I was in radio and television, if you wanted to go do play-by-play, they were just like, yeah, go grab the equipment and just connect to NR92. There'll be 4 people listening, if that. Did you guys do any play-by-play?
Yeah, I did the play-by-play there for full semester. You would have to apply for it. It depends on how many people were really interested in doing that, I guess. But no, I did that for almost the entire season for the men's and the women's. So it was a lot of fun.
Oh, good stuff. Okay, I don't even think Nate had a women's hockey team.
Well,
when I was good.
I'd like to know what vintage that jersey is too, because there's a number on it. I'd like to know whose jersey you're wearing.
Is that?
I don't know whose jersey it is specifically, but it is number 15. I believe I did research on this. This is a 2006 jersey, I want to say. I'll search it up just to confirm, but it has the flying owl, the ook.
The ook pick.
The ook pick, yeah, that's right.
I'd like to know whose that is, and I'd like to get him on the show and see if he'd want to make an offer for his old jersey.
Well, that's the thing.
It's
because
not game worn, is it?
And then you sign it.
That would be hilarious.
Get it back.
Yeah, the Coob. Signed by the Coob.
Signed by the Coob.
And I'd sign it number 17 because that's what I wore. But
all right.
Reid, a lot of good. Zach, keep working on that. I want to know whose jersey that is. But the off-topic obviously today for William Huff was, what was your favorite thing to do Friday after school? And there are several farm kids that have entered the EST inbox. But one of them would be Bones. Said, I'd drive grain truck for my mom so she could make supper. There was a lot of person. We lived on a farm, so I worked.
Yeah, no, fair enough.
That's how it
fair
goes.
Enough.
Rob says, this is a good one. This will take you back in the day. we played video games in the Max across from the street from the school, or go to a buddy's place to watch satellite TV on the big dish.
Oh, wow.
Remember when
yes.
you had the friend that had like the dish that was the size of this wall in their backyard?
Yeah.
And then Aaron, the accountant, sent in a story of his mom trying to kill him. My mother gave me Advil. Normally, I had always taken Tylenol, but for whatever reason, I took this instead. I had never had it, went to bed and woke up sometime thereafter and rushed to her room, gasping for air with my eyes completely swollen shut. After several hours in the emergency room, I learned I'm allergic to ibuprofen, and that was the time my mother almost killed me.
Okay. My
That's
mom's probably horrified that I told that story because, she was not trying to kill me. I just bugged her about it.
Our mothers are just happy that we're here and alive and doing what we love, right?
Very much so.
So that they're fine.
780-218-9999. Nasty Chat is on YouTube. Give us a thumbs up if you're on YouTube as we try to get 100 every show. And the man who feeds us gives us treats if we make 100. Dustin Nielson.
What was it for today? Did we?
I don't know.
clarify?
We'll have to ask him.
Yeah. Well,
He left. He was
on
already
air.
gone by the time we got in.
So he's probably hidden something.
Probably
here.
hidden
This will
something
be
in the
fun.
office for us to find at some point this weekend. We do have the oil understood for GCL Diesel, providers of the best diesel engine components around. From turbochargers to injectors, fuel pumps to sensors, they are the critical engine component experts. Proud to serve Edmonton and Northern Alberta for over 50 years. Now a proud partner of Edmonton Sports Talk and the Reid Wilkins Show. GCL Diesel. Diesel. Understood. Oilers 1-4-2 in Nashville. I'm going to compliment. Sorry,
No,
I cut you off.
I'm going to kick off some questions
Sure.
to you that I want some clarification on. Okay.
Oh no. Okay.
Well, no, it's in a lot of sense, it's a big pat on the old Reid Wilkins back because a lot of this was pointed out by you prior to yesterday's game, and I just want you to explain if you think the Oilers satisfied, I guess, your desires for them to play better in certain instances. Now, one of those would be to simplify, right? That when things are going not your way as it has been for that top line, when the sticks are being squeezed a little harder than normal, one would simplify. Do you think that on McDavid's goal, for instance, it was a simple hockey play, get pucks on net, and look what happened? Is that what you were talking about when you meant simplify?
Yes, and I think that they did that more often, and more players did it. I think there was, and again, with the high skill guys, I accept that sometimes they should have the freedom to make the play and perhaps do something a little fancier. But I think if you're struggling, as the Oilers had been, you have to go back to some very simple foundational things. You and I both love football. You played football. So when something wasn't working, I'll talk from an offensive standpoint, I suppose. I know you played defense. But if something's not working for a football team offensively, do they say, okay, guys, triple reverse, and then we're going to call a flea flicker, and then we'll do an end around? We got to. No, they usually say, okay, boys, we're good at running the ball. I'm calling 5 consecutive handoffs. Go out there and pound it, right? And I think the hockey version of that is, okay, we can't get anything going. Either get it on net or get it into the corner and muck it up. And I was again impressed with the bottom 6 in that game.
Yep.
You had Ryan and Janmark in that line working really hard on the Kulak goal, and that's just keeping the puck alive, whacking at it, making Nashville chase it, wearing them down. Eventually it goes back to Kulak, and he fires it in.
Twice. He fired the first one, and it came back to him off the rebound.
Right, yeah, good point. And then the Skinner goal, that's Perry. Now, you still have to have skill. Don't get me wrong. Like I always, when somebody would call in before and be like, will beats skill. I'm like, I don't know about that. Not all the time. I know what you're saying, but there has to be a certain work ethic for the skill to still matter. But Perry makes that nice move to the net. And then to me, it's significant that Jeff Skinner scored that goal. Because what was the concern about Skinner in the summer, and maybe the knock on him through the preseason and the first couple of games, is that he's not getting to the mucky areas.
Yeah.
He's staying outside a little bit too much. And there was, that's just a puck bouncing around. And didn't it go under Saros, and then now I think a Nashville guy wound up sliding and putting it in. But that's one. Let's just keep the puck alive. Keep advancing it inch by inch. toward the goal line. So, those guys and those types of goals, again, are what really kind of got it started for the Oilers. And then clearly McDavid got the one late in the second period.
I love the emotion that Skinner showed after that goal. It was, not that it was a monkey off his back, but it just felt like that was a goal, a timely goal that was needed. And yeah, once again, that line is buzzing. You had mentioned in the pregame show, the GCL Diesel pregame show with Tommy when you were on, that you felt that this season there's probably more pressure attached to Calvin Pickard than there would be to Jeff Skinner, as Jeff Skinner is he's an NHL goalie.
Stuart Skinner.
Jeez,
we'll share this story later, maybe during buying or selling.
That's hilarious. Okay. But in all honesty, the reality is that Calvin Pickard's going to be asked to play 25, 27 games, right?
Yep.
And this was a pressure-packed game for him to step up, as his first start wasn't that good. And you kind of mentioned that in the pregame. So what was the attitude towards Stu Skinner?
I thought Pickard played an excellent game.
Yeah.
I mean, it was interesting because the Oilers had 9 shots on goal. It was 9-0, almost halfway through the first. I can't remember if it was just before or just after the halfway point. Nashville finally got a shot, and it was a dangerous one-timer. And then the Oilers gave up a breakaway shortly after that. So it was, Pick, yeah, not a shot yet. Okay, we'll give you a couple real tough ones. And then the Forsberg tip-in went in just after that. The Marcia Show play in the second period, I mean, I get it. I saw a little bit of chatter like, well, why is Pickard moving across? Well, because it's the goalie's job to read the play. And
yes.
in that split second, he's thinking it's more likely that puck is going to go to the guy attacking on the weak side as opposed to Marcia Show tipping it perfectly out of the air. Like I often say, goals go in. I mean, you can't treat every goal like a bad goal. There are some bad goals, but I don't think you can treat every bad goal or every goal like, well, a goalie has to have every single one. But then final second last minute of the game, one-timer, the Nashville did have their shot to tie it. That was a great save, getting across to block that. And, Nashville, and I think Knobloch said it after the game as well, the third period was Nashville's best, which you would expect from a desperate team, the situation they were in, down a goal. And Pickard answered the bell. So I think that was a really encouraging performance from Pickard.
Well, and, it's easy to criticize and say, well, that should have been stopped. Well, look, the Oilers won last night, heavily on the back of Calvin Pickard. So if you let a goal in, well, that's going to happen. You can't expect perfection from any goalie,
right,
in the NHL. And when his time was called, and that third period, that shot that he came across and made a great save, kept that lead. I don't know how you can, so good on Calvin Pickard. Now to the bad part, or maybe not bad. You'll have to explain. The power play is 1 for 13 through the first 5 games. You've been very calm, very cool about this, and are you starting to worry now?
No.
Okay. Why?
So I checked this quickly. I looked at the game log from last year. The Oilers played 82 games last year. You know how many times they did not score a power play goal? 36. So they had 36 games in which they were 0 for on the power play. It's going to happen. They had 3 consecutive games without a power play goal from October 26th to November 2nd. They had a stretch from December 16th to December 31st of 6 games. They scored 1 power play goal. Okay? Or pardon me, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 games. They had a stretch of 7 games. They scored 1 power play goal, December 16th to December 31st. They won 5 of the 7 games. Yeah. Okay, I am not, of all the things in life I could worry about, and let's face it, folks, sometimes in life we, for some reason, choose what we're going to worry about instead of actually processing whether or not we feel worried. I am choosing not to be worried about the power play. Yes, I wish they had a couple more goals. Yes, there have been some moments where I thought they didn't look as organized or precise as I would like them to be. Sure, it's going to be fine. And I do believe the Oilers are good enough in this incarnation of the team to win games without scoring 1, 2, or 3 power play goals in a game. And look, if they're going to go 25, 30%, whatever, I certainly think 25% is realistic. Once again, I thought they're going to be over 30. But when you go 25% on the power play, you don't score one every 4 times. You're not 1 out of 4 and then 2 out of, but they're going to have a burst when they go 3 for 5 over a game or 2, or have a 5-game burst, where they go 6 for 15 on the power play. I am absolutely not worried about the power play, and as I said, I refuse to worry about the power play.
Okay, so one more. Well, I have 2 questions, but we can't fit them both in. Do you want me to ask you a question about block shots, or do you want me to ask you a question about Darnell Nurse?
Let's save them. Let's save both of them. Because I think our guest is already standing by. Plenty more Oilers chat as we move along. We do have Ron McIntyre coming up. New book. It's called Gridiron Wisdom, a playbook for leadership. But first, a sports update, courtesy Paramount Flooring.
There's 3 games in the NHL with the Ducks visiting the Avs, the Jets battling the Sharks, and the Hurricanes going at it against the Pens. CFL Week 20 kicks off when the Hamilton Tiger Cats host the Calgary Stampeders, and the NFL injury report sees Jordan Mason ready to come back for the 49ers, Nick Chubb for the Browns activated and ready to play his first game in over a year, and elsewhere, Jacoby Myers for the Raiders, and Aaron Jones of the Vikings are questionable. Right now, in Game 5 of the NLDS, the Mets are up 3-0 on the Dodgers, down 3-1 in the series. And in the ALCS later, it's Game 4 between the Yankees and the Guardians, with the Yankees up 2-1 over the Guardians in that series. This sports update has been brought to you by Paramount Flooring. Proudly family-owned and operated for 33 years, Paramount Flooring is your full-service flooring and tile supplier. Whether you're a homeowner, renovator, or builder, Paramount Flooring has got what you're looking for. Visit their showroom that's open 7 days a week at 10707 184th Street. Paramount Flooring. Flooring for the life that you live. Ron McIntyre joins the Reid Wilkins Show just after the break. I'm Zachary Kubish, and that was your Sports Update.
The grand opening sale at Sit and Sleep is almost over. This is your last chance to take advantage of the special introductory sale prices on all mattresses. Stop in today for a free pressure point scan using cutting-edge technology so sleepologists can identify the perfect mattress for you. Right now, get free local delivery on any mattress over $7.99 and receive a free bamboo cooling mattress protector. Enjoy grand opening savings with every mattress on sale. Join us on location today for the final celebrations at Sit and Sleep in South Common next to Planet Fitness. Don't miss out the grand opening sale in soon.
You want the heavy hitters on your team, both on and off the ice. If you've been injured in a car accident, call the heavy hitters of injury law. James H. Brown and Associates, Alberta Injury Lawyers. With over 200 years of combined injury law experience, their precedent-setting lawyers are ready to help. Locally owned and proud Edmonton Oilers fans, James H. Brown and Associates wants to support you with their unrivaled experience, unrivaled results, and unrivaled commitment. When accidents happen, head to jameshbrown.com.
A&W has a deal for you. What's better than one A&W Mama Burger made with a perfectly seasoned grass-fed beef patty topped with pickles, a slice of onion, ketchup, mustard, and teen sauce served on a toasted sesame seed bun? 2 Mama Burgers for only $9.99. You can enjoy 2 of these delicious, mouth-watering Mama Burgers for only $9.99 at participating A&W restaurants in Edmonton, St. Albert, Sherwood Park, and Devon. What a deal! And to make it even more convenient for you, most A&W drive-thrus are open 24 hours.
Edmonton Sports Talk delivers a mass audience of key, influential customers to your business, all while you associate your company brand with the biggest names, the hottest sports news, and teams from every league around the globe. It's where fans go to get their sports fix and where our partners find the most loyal consumers. Contact us today and see how our team on Edmonton Sports Talk can score the biggest goals for your business. With various advertising options available, email business@edmontonsportstalk.com or head to our website, edmontonsportstalk.com.
C Run in the Nas chat says Stewie Skins and El Jefe have to start giving them nicknames to stop mixing them up. The Stu Skinners. Later on in the show, Jay and I will reveal an idea we had to keep the Skinners straight. It was not serious, but we will share that later on. More Oilers chat as we move along. Dustin Nielson, our mentor and leader, will join us at around 20 after 4. He's calling CFL. Where is he? In Vancouver. He's got the Lions game. And we'll talk some hockey and other. And I want to ask him the off-topic topic as well. What was your favorite thing to do Friday after school when you were a kid? We got a really special guest coming up here. New book. It's called Gridiron Wisdom, a Playbook for Leadership. Ron McIntyre is the author. Ron, you're on with Reid and Jay. How are you doing?
I'm a little shocked that my face is on there. Well, I shaved this morning and I cut myself to ribbons. And then I thought, well, maybe I won't be on, but here I am.
Well, we appreciate that. Yes, it is a streaming station with an option for video. So thank you for taking the option. A lot of people also tuning in through iHeartRadio and tune in as well. Hey, and thanks. I read the parts of the book you recommended today, and I think it's going to be a great read. But before we dive into that, just sort of give everybody the Coles notes on yourself, if you can. I know it's a big story, but if you can kind of boil it down, your connection to football in this province.
So I'm from Edmonton, and I played and coached here for 30-some years at different levels. I was with high school, junior football with the Huskies, and fortunate to have coached with Tom Wilkinson with the Bears, and Pete Laverado, a couple ex-Eskimos. During COVID, then, when I was trapped in my house, I thought, I got to give something back to this game and show a little gratitude to the people that came before me. So I thought I'd give myself a humbling experience because I thought I was pretty good, fellas. Like, who are the 5 best programs in Alberta's history? And I see Jay's got his Golden Bears top on. I don't want you to fire, why aren't we on there? But Jay, we got to give the Dinos credit, right? They had 4 or 5 Vannies in 11 years. So I thought, then with COVID, I sat down and wrote. And I was a social studies teacher for, again, 30 years. And I've marked thousands of papers, but I soon figured out writing is a lot tougher than telling kids what they're doing wrong. So it's been quite a journey. It was a lot of fun. I interviewed dozens of guys from across the province. Tom Higgins, the Forzanis down south, the Raymond guys. It was awesome. And so then I had the hard part of writing the book, and I had a lot of help along the way. The former chair of history, Rod McLeod at the U of A, he cut me to ribbons, as did John Short before he passed. He helped edit the book and gave me some pointers.
So I was going to say how difficult, but maybe that's not the right question. But I mean, you touched on the Golden Bears that Jay has on, but how did you finally decide on the programs and the eras on which to focus? That's a early step, but that's a big step to give yourself direction.
Yes, it is. And the Comets with 300 kids in their high school, they can play bigger schools like Ainley and JP straight up with 3,500 kids. Like, how can you ignore them? And they've won more provincial championships. That was easy. The 50s Eskimos was actually pretty easy too, because the 80s Eskimos, you got 5 Grey Cups, but what made the 50s Eskimos such an easy choice for me was my wife's father played for the 50s Eskimos, so I had no choice. I had to pick the 50s Eskimos, not the 80s. The 60s Huskies with their 3 in a row, that's unprecedented in Edmonton junior football. The St. Francis Browns with Gary DeMann starting in the late 60s and going right through to the present, they're still racking up tons of wins, and I have great respect for all these programs and what they did. But the Raymond and St. Francis, they're still going. And that to me, and they're built on a foundation.
Ron McIntyre joins us here, author of Gridiron Wisdom, a Playbook for Leadership. In your description of your book, you mentioned that You spent countless hours in intimate interviews and heartfelt discussions with former coaches, players, and you've mentioned, Tom Higgins and the Forzani family. But who were some of the others, coaches and players that helped you tell this story? And was there an interview or a conversation that you had with any of those people that stood out to you?
Yeah, oh boy. So, Brian Dickinson's a friend of mine, and we coached together at the University in junior football. See, he knew a lot of ex-pros from Calgary. Tony Spaltini, who played for the Esks as they were back then, Elks now. Tony was great because Tony introduced me to a lot of guys. But okay, so let's get real here with Reid and Jay. When I was yakking with these fellas and they started reminiscing and talking about the game's impact on them as men, some of them in their 80s, they would get choked. They would get very emotional. And you'd think, what was it about those programs that offered this? Any coach who puts a whistle around his neck and spends 2 hours a day after work, it's all volunteer up here in Canada, working with young men deserves credit. And the stories just kept flooding in. The Forzanis, for example, down in Calgary. I'd rather talk about the Edmonton guys for your audience, but Tom Forzani said he learned more about running his business, Sport Check, which they sold for close to $1 billion. This is a second-generation Italian-Canadian family. They learned more from their high school football coach than they did their business professors at university. And it was about how you treat people, and it was about how you set a performance standard, and what do you do with people that aren't reaching to be the best they can be, and how you treat them with dignity. And they learned that on a football field. And, that sounds like Huck Finn or Tom Sawyer's story, but I can't argue with them. I never built hopefully this book is the start of $1 billion business, but I doubt it. But this is what they had to say. That was one story that really stuck out, Jane. That's a good question. But there are countless others, like, some of the stories, Bob Bateman. I don't know. Jay's younger than Reid, I think. Reid, is that true?
He is. Yes.
So I don't know, Bateman's IGA were huge retailers in the city of food. But Bob Bateman, his leadership with the Huskies, 62, 63, 64. And then after that, as a director, what he did for the business community in Edmonton. And Johnny Bright, Normie Kwong, Bright coming up from an absolutely horrific racist incident when he was at Drake, Iowa. That's in the book, where he made the cover of Life magazine because a team that he was playing, Oklahoma A&M, which is now Oklahoma State, where Chuba Hubbard, a local NFLer, played his college career. They were bound and determined a black man was not going to finish a football game. And some photographers went to the Drake Oklahoma State game and captured it all on film and won Pulitzer Prizes. Johnny Bright was a first-round draft pick of the Philadelphia Eagles, came up here, found a home, and stayed at home, and became a principal and a leader in our community. Normie Kwong wasn't allowed into public swimming pools in Calgary when he was a kid. He lived in the city center as a Chinese Canadian and became our lieutenant governor. And at the end of his life, he said, "I love this province." So it's kind of a story about how the province has grown as well. We've grown from something in the 50s to something quite a bit different now in a much better way. So Jay, those are some of the stories, but there's a lot in there. That's 50,000 words. Yeah,
that's a great teaser to let people know, and that's emotional too. Those ones as well. Yeah, for sure. All right. Ron, and by the way, you mentioned this being a partially visual medium. For the people watching on YouTube, we have had the cover of the book up between Jay and I so people can see what it looks like. Gridiron Wisdom, a playbook for leadership. How can people get their hands on it here? Let people know how they can take it in.
The easiest way is to go to ronmcintyrebooks.com. And it's all one word, ronmcintyrebooks.com. And it's funny for authors like myself that do local histories. You can go onto Amazon and Barnes & Noble, and then I go bankrupt and my wife leaves me. But if you buy from me directly, I should be able to have enough money to write the second book, which is a romance novel, Reid.
Oh, my goodness.
No, I'm kidding.
Football
I'm kidding.
involved?
No, there's no romance novel. The second one will be about football as well, and there'll be a little more Golden Bear stuff on that one for Jay.
Okay. Well, he'll like that for sure. Well, Ron, thanks for doing this. I know I was I think I emailed you almost 2 weeks ago to try to set up a time, so I'm glad today worked out. And I just find anybody who writes a book. I've interviewed a lot of authors over the years, and I love doing it because you got to have the passion to do it, and you got to have the willpower. Because I imagine the first couple pages may become easier than pages 300 or 350 once you dive into the process. So congratulations on getting it done. So RonMcIntyreBooks.com, or I suppose or if they Googled Gridiron Wisdom, Ron McIntyre, that would take them there too. Okay.
For sure. And before you go, thanks for having me on, and thanks for your support of all these coaches and kids that are out there trying their best.
Right on. Thank you so much, Ron. We'll talk to you down the road.
Take care, guys. Bye-bye.
Okay, good stuff there with Ron McIntyre. So again, it's Gridiron Wisdom, a playbook for leadership. But that was when he was telling the stories about Johnny Bright and Normie Kwong. Really good, really interesting. And yeah, maybe the Golden Bears book is in Golden Bears. The J. Milne chapter is in part 2.
Maybe it's in the romance book.
It's in the romance
sequel.
novel. Yes.
Yeah.
Well, that was cool to have Ron on, and he mentioned John Short, helping him with the book before he passed. John wrote the foreword as well,
right.
And sounds like there will be some great. And again, he gave us sort of like an advancer copy where you can read a couple of sections, and Ron talks a little bit about his childhood and connection to football and why it means something to him too. So really cool project.
Well, it's neat. Anytime there's a snapshot or in this case, looking into the history books of football in Alberta, any sport really would be interesting to read and interesting to understand, because you can see where that sport has come and how it's evolved to now. It's a big time sport, and Chuba Hubbard, who we mentioned there, he's a Bev Facey grad. He's Falcon awesome.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Just a little teaser again.
So he is, you'd be about, 15 years older than him?
I don't know. Maybe. Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
And you can imagine watching him play high school football.
One of the most fun interviews I ever did.
We should get him on.
We try. I try to get him before the season.
Yeah, maybe after the season.
He's usually back in town for a bit. We'll have him on at some point. One of the most fun interviews I ever did was when he was still in high school and he committed to Oklahoma State, and Adarius Bowman was still playing here. And I didn't tell Chuba, but we brought Adarius on mid-interview.
Nice.
So Darius knew he was waiting to come on and congratulate Chuba. And I think they kind of had met and knew each other, but that was pretty fun.
I remember that. They did the whole scene where he had all the different hats from the offers that he was...
Well, that wasn't on Inside Sports, by the way.
No, but they they did that.
Where are the locals going? Tune in. That'd be quite a coup, eh?
That would be.
If we had a recruitment or we had a commitment announcement on the Reid Wilkins show with Jay Milne, that would be pretty cool.
That would be something
Instead,
else.
we get where's Joaquin Gage going for coffee? Find out. All right. No, but awesome to have Ron McIntyre on the show. Again, the book is Gridiron Wisdom, a playbook for leadership, a focus on some of the great football programs in the province of Alberta. We will have our top 3. We will have more chatter on your Edmonton Oilers, who have 2 consecutive victories. We will have Dustin Nielson, all ahead. Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for Edmonton sports.
Get to know the winners, props, plays, parlays, and more with Nielsen and Hustler. Weekday mornings at 11 on The Lock Shop. Only on EdmontonSportsTalk.com.
Conveniently located 10 minutes west of St. Albert, Wheeler's RV Storage will provide you with safe, secure storage for your RV, boat, or whatever you need to store. Open 7 days a week with gated keypad access and extra large stalls. Now is the time to take advantage of their limited time offer. Buy 6 months and get 1 month free. Now's the time to go to WheelersRVStorage.com. That's Wheeler's RV Storage. Safe, secure storage. Visit them today at WheelersRVStorage.com.
Celebrating 70 years in the signage industry, William Huff Advertising is the most recognized name in the game. An in-house, one-stop shop for all of your design, print, and installation needs. William Huff provides quality graphic solutions for everyone. Here in our City of Champions and throughout the nation, they're the preferred signage partner entrusted by many of the biggest corporations, pro sports teams, and organizations to bring their identity to life. Recognize the name, get in the game. WilliamHuff.com.
GCL Diesel has been serving oil country since 1972. From diesel cars to SUVs to pickups. From farm tractors to school buses to a big rig. From diesel generators to forklifts, GCL can test, troubleshoot, and repair all diesel fuel system components. Whether it's injectors, pumps, turbos, filters, or additive, GCL has the parts you need to keep your diesel running the way it should. For genuine diesel parts at wholesale prices, visit GCL Diesel in the West End or online at GCLDiesel.com. GCL Diesel. Diesel understood.
Wake up with the Nielson Show with Dustin Nielson and Lieutenant Eric. Weekday mornings 6 to 9 on EdmontonSportsTalk.com.
Games on tap in the NHL with the Ducks visiting the Avs, the Jets battling the Sharks, and the Hurricanes going at it against the Preds. CFL Week 20 kicks off when the Hamilton Tiger Cats host the Calgary Stampeders, and the NFL injury report sees Deebo Samuel and Jordan Mason ready to come back for the 49ers. Nick Chubb for the Browns activated and ready to play for the first time in over a year. Elsewhere, Jacoby Myers from the Raiders and Aaron Jones of the Vikings are questionable. Right now, the Mets lead the Dodgers in Game 5 of the NLCS with New York down 3-1 in the series. The Mets are up 3-0 in the game. Later, it's Game 4 of the ALCS with the Yankees up 2-1 over the Guardians. The Reid Wilkins Show continues right now. I'm Zachary Kubich, and you're up to date.
Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you're having a magnificent Friday. Along with Jay Milne, I'm Reid Wilkins. 780-218-9999 is how you can reach the EST Inbox. You can participate in the nasty chat on YouTube. Hit that thumbs up button. We're trying to reach 100 before the end of the show. We are over halfway there, but we don't take our progress for granted. So give us the thumbs up. Tell your friends, family, and enemies to give us a thumbs up as well. All right, Ron McIntyre was on the show. The book is Gridiron Wisdom, a playbook for leadership. Dustin Nielson will check in to talk Oilers and CFL. Big weekend on campus. Doug McLean will focus on Golden Bears football a little bit later on, though we'll probably touch on some other things with him too. We had Sean Chagall on yesterday from the Golden Bears hockey team, 7 o'clock tonight and tomorrow at Clare Drake against Saskatchewan. I'm going to try to go, I don't think I can go tonight, but I'm going to try to go to tomorrow's game. So I love seeing the Bears and Huskies play. He was a great interview, too.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
We're very lucky. We've had some great guests already.
He had just a pep in his step.
Yeah, and well-spoken.
Yeah.
I do think, I know when people go to sporting events, they want to watch the sport, but I like to think that it might help a little bit if you get an athlete from, a sport that doesn't get the same exposure. I hope somebody's at the game tonight or tomorrow at Clare Drake and is like, oh, that's the guy they talked to. Yeah, he sounded smart. I want to watch him.
Yeah.
I hope,
Flash a Def Leppard shirt as a sign of solidarity.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if Sean would know what that meant, but I would know.
Hey.
If they flashed it to me.
Yeah.
Yes. No, yeah, sorry.
So if you're going to Claire Drake tomorrow and you see Reid, flash him.
We'll leave that one there.
Yes, we will.
Okay, so last night, and the boys were talking about this after the game, the Oilers beat the Predators 4-2. I'm holding in my hands here, if you're watching on YouTube, the official stat sheet from the NHL. They have a game summary and the event summary. And the event summary, and this is, anybody can access this. It's not just for media people. So it has all the columns for the ice time, the goals and assists, like all the stats. And then it has, how many shots did you take? How many attempts did you take that were blocked? How many went wide? How many hits? And it has, for the hits, according to the NHL stat sheet, the Predators out-hit the Oilers 29-9. Now, I find that absurd. Now, I guess you could argue the Oilers had the puck more, so they weren't dishing out as many body checks. I know we've already had comments, well, yeah, the Oilers aren't a physical team. 29-9 is silly. And the hit stat in the NHL is subjective. I mean, basically, a hit is to recorded if a player initiates legal and significant body contact on an opponent. I'm paraphrasing a little bit, but that's basically what I looked up. But this is, to me, it's one of those stats that I think, and Matt Cassian talked about it last night on the post game show. It can vary from rink to rink.
Sure.
I mean, it's to the point that it's a little silly that it's even recorded. I think, and I know you want to ask me about blocked shots later. A blocked shot, I'm not saying you couldn't miss a blocked shot or whatever, but if you block if you block the shot, even if you don't mean to do it.
Yeah.
Like if I get knocked down and you're on the other team and you shoot it into me, I still blocked it, right?
I don't think Hyman meant to block that shot from the point the other night.
Well, plus it was his teammate, but yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah.
So, but the hit stat, it's almost some nights where I think, why did they even record it? Like, what's the point? And there have been games in the past where I thought, man, this guy, yeah, he nailed that one guy, and then he rubbed that other guy out and stole the puck, and then he did this other play, and you look on the stat sheet, 0 hits. And I'm thinking, well, I know he didn't have 0 hits because he hit some guys and took the puck away. So, using that as the jumping off point, I have my top 3 presented by Food Sausage. The best sausages you will ever eat, locally made and packed full of flavor. Order online or visit them in-store, 6736 99th Street, and take advantage of their EST discount. 10% off your order if you enter the online code EST. You also get 10% off your order by just mentioning Edmonton Sports Talk in the store. Here, let Jay and I...
let's reenact.
We'll do a scenario. I'm the customer.
Okay.
Hello, I would like to purchase these sausages.
Oh, would you? Okay.
Edmonton Sports Talk.
10% off for you.
Free delivery in Edmonton on orders over $100.
That kind of sounded like no soup for you guys.
But it was positive. As Food Sausage says, you can't beat our meat. So I have my top 3, and for lack of a better word, I just use the word dumb. Dumb sports stats. Stats that get used. So I didn't want to go too obscure, but stats that might get referred to. You might see them on TV, or you might look in a box score or a game summary and see them. But I think that they are flawed and or meaningless and or inaccessible for the average sports fan. Make sense?
Yep.
And again, with this, we encourage audience participation and humor. I mean, it's Friday afternoon. I'll start with hockey. I was going to ask you which sport you want me to start with, but I'll start with hockey.
Sure.
And it's another one that's on the main stat sheet, and it's giveaways and takeaways. So last night, the Oilers were credited with 18 giveaways and 1 takeaway. The Nashville Predators were credited with 21 giveaways and 5 takeaways. So I want you to remember, too, that this is not an even sum game with the giveaways and takeaways. Okay, so Jay and I are watching football. Or no, Jay and I are playing football. I'm the quarterback, Jay's the defensive back. I throw on the other team. I throw the ball and you catch it. As a quarterback, I have committed an interception. As a defensive back, you have made an interception. Each team gets 1, right? Each player gets 1 on opposing teams. Hockey doesn't work that way. And this was explained to me, well, probably about 10 years ago, because they were still playing games in the old building. And there was a play the two Oilers defensemen were fairly spread out along the offensive blue line, and the left defenseman tried to go D to D to the right defenseman, but it was a long pass in danger of being intercepted, so he passed it about 3 feet off the ground. He almost took a wrist shot to try to get it across. And I can't remember who they were playing, but the defending player knocked it out of midair and went in on a breakaway. I don't think he scored. And then on the stat sheet, the player who had thrown the pass across did not have a giveaway in his column. So I can't remember if it was that night or the next time I was at the rink, but the guys who keep the stats are up on the press box area, and I said, "What's going on?" Like, people were confused after the game, and he said a giveaway in hockey by one team does not mean a takeaway by the other team. So there even is some subjectivity there. So on that play, they gave a takeaway to the defensive player because they said that's a pretty difficult play to knock the puck out of the air in that circumstance. So he took it away. It wasn't given away. Do you see the difference?
Yeah. So would a takeaway be when you're engaged with a player, like say you lift their stick and take it from them? Is that a defined takeaway?
Yes, that would be more of a takeaway.
Okay.
So yeah, if you're behind the net and I pursue you and I get position on you and I shoulder you and we stick battle and then I come out with the puck, I've taken it away from you. But you have not given it away. If you have a controlled breakout behind your own net, no pressure, and you go to pass it up the middle of the ice and it goes right to me, you've given it away, would be two kind of obvious examples.
So in your example there, technically, he didn't give it away. The player took it away because he made a great skilled play.
Because he knocked the puck out of the air.
Yes.
But having said that, I still feel there's some subjectivity to this stat, and I find it difficult to believe that in a 60-minute hockey game with NHL players, there were only 6 takeaways the entire game, and only 1 by the Oilers. I mean...
So that would lead, obviously the giveaways are going to be a much higher number than takeaways.
Yeah,
usually
there's more giveaways than takeaways, for sure.
But it is interesting that it's not,
I know.
Come see, come saw, whereas you throw me an interception, you have a giveaway, I have a takeaway.
Right. So that's why I consider giveaways and takeaways in hockey.
I like that.
Now, I'm not saying, just to clarify, I'm not saying they're not important. I'm not saying you wouldn't track that. But I also have learned over the years, a lot of NHL teams, they do their own stats. They might refer to the NHL game sheet, but then when they break down the film, they would say, okay, we lost the puck here. What actually happened? They're not going to say, oh, well, you know what? That's a takeaway by Stamkos, so we're not going to worry about giving the puck away. They're going to say, okay, what happened on this play? How do we prevent that? How do we categorize that? What could have we done better? But so that's why I think when you look on the game sheet, I think blocked shots fine, face-offs obviously fine. There can be even face-offs can have a bit of subjectivity, but face-offs fine. Whether a shot was on net or blocked or missed the net, fine. But I would say the hits and the giveaways and takeaways take with a grain of salt when you look on an NHL game sheet.
Well, not to get too far off topic here, but Donnie M asks an interesting question. He says, "Hey Reid, is a dump and chase a giveaway?"
Well, that's the thing, right? Even Dave Tippett said once, if you're forechecking hard for 30 seconds and then it goes back to the point man and he floats a long unscreened wrist shot on the net and the goalie freezes it for a faceoff, haven't you turned the puck over? Right. You know what I mean? You had something going, and so yeah, that's a good point, and that's where hockey's a little different. I mean, you often dump the puck into the corner knowing the other team is going to get it first. And then you're trying to get it back. Then you're trying to create a takeaway by getting it back.
What's number 2, Reid?
Number 2, I wonder if, because you had one as well, number 2 is quarterback rating or passer rating.
Oh.
And I love football. I love all the stats with football. I think passer rating and QB rating, I just think to the average fan, or maybe even some people who are really into football, why do we have this stat? Do you know what a perfect passer rating is in the NFL and the CFL?
What is it?
158.3.
Yeah.
It's different in college football. The formula is you figure out 4 different numbers, and then you add those numbers together and you divide them by 6 and then you multiply by 100. That's how you get passer rating in the NFL and CFL. There's a different formula in the NCAA. Now, if they could somehow make it out of 100, that would be great. But I just think I was going to read off how to do all the formulas, but I think that'll be just extra boring. I just think, well, his quarterback rating is 112.6. I can't tell you what that means. And I love football, and I've watched football all my life. If you tell me he's 7-2 as a starter with 20 touchdowns and 6 interceptions, that's all I need. I don't need to know the quarterback rating.
I think it's a general metric that you can say the higher the passer rating, or in CFL they call it efficiency rating, the better the quarterback's playing. I mean, it's a pass attempts, completions, passing yards, passing touchdowns, and interceptions.
Right.
That's what goes into the rating. Now, but so what? How is it skewed this way or that way? I don't know, but I do know if you have a higher passer rating, that's good.
Yes.
Active quarterbacks in the NFL, who do you think has the highest current passer rating?
Career?
Active.
Or this season?
Career.
So quarterbacks currently in the NFL, who would have the highest passer rating? I am going to say, okay, so David Carr.
Current?
Well, because it's the formula. I'm thinking like explosive plays and stuff. Okay, then Rodgers.
Yes, you're right.
Aaron Rodgers, who is a good quarterback.
Rodgers.
But the reason I said a non-star quarterback is because I thought, okay, maybe you're
right,
not tricking me, but thinking like, oh, it's actually not somebody who's not a top-tier guy. All right, my third dumb sports stat. Are you ready to move on, or you still have something to say?
No.
Okay. Did I irritate you by picking passer rating?
No, mine's football related too.
Oh, okay. The third one, and no, everybody, I didn't do plus minus in hockey. I'm sorry. I know probably people want that one. I'm going to use a hold in baseball because I understand how a pitcher can get a win. I've always understood how a pitcher can get a save, and I do understand the hold stat. So a hold occurs, this is right off the Major League Baseball website. A hold occurs when a relief pitcher enters the game in a save situation and maintains his team's lead for the next relief pitcher while recording at least one out. So he has to enter with a lead of 3 runs or less, maintain the lead, or you can also enter the game with a tying run on deck, whatever. But to me, okay, so my team's up 6-3, top of the 8th. I go in. I give up a solo home run. I strike the next guy out. I give up a solo home run. I'm replaced. I have committed a hold. Not committed a hold. I have achieved a hold. My team still has the lead. And I get it. You could enter a save situation and give up a couple runs and end the game, but at least you've ended the game with the lead. I have actually held the lead, but left my team in a worse situation than the one I entered.
The rate of holds must be significantly higher in the playoffs.
I didn't even think to look that up.
Because
who's the all-time hold leader?
You'd go through your bullpen a lot more. That's a bad one. I agree.
You should have to at least have left with the same.
It means nothing
because that's
a great example,
right? So okay, so say it's top of the 8th. Yeah, it's 6. My team's up 6-3.
Yeah,
or let's say I finish the inning. I get 3 outs, but I give up 2 runs.
Yeah,
I've decreased my team's lead. If it's the 9th, I get it. If I give up a couple runs, but I get the 3 outs, at least I've ended the game. At least I've achieved enough to end the game with a win, so I should get a save. But a hold, it's like I've now made it more tense for my team to win, even though we still are ahead.
They should do a hold pause thumbs up and a hold thumbs down, where it's a hold where he actually held the score, and a hold thumbs down is where he essentially blew it, and they had to pull him before it got much worse.
And maybe, I fully accept there's probably some people out there who are real stat heads with baseball, and maybe they might say, well, no, you're missing the point, Reid. And maybe I am, but I would say a hold in baseball.
Baseball scorekeeping is an art in itself.
Oh,
much like bowling. You ever had to manually keep scoring bowling?
Oh, yeah, it's fun.
Yeah, it's fun. Yeah, you get to shade in things and color.
But I think everywhere is automated now, isn't it?
It is.
I haven't bowled in a while.
They used to have the ones where the projector screen would go up to the TV and you could see your handwriting on it. I like that.
Do you want to do yours?
I got one. It's QB pressures. Like, talk about subjectivity. Wow. This one is, so QB pressures is a stat that they use in the NFL. They don't use it in the CFL, although, I mean, it's directionally correct, I guess, but it's a combination of sacks, hits, and hurries. What's a hurry?
The quarterback had to hurry.
Yeah, the quarterback
had to throw the ball before he wanted to. Well, how do we know when he wanted to throw it?
Quarterbacks generally hurry on every play then.
Right?
Well, you had to get rid of the ball. Well, yeah, at some point you do. At some point you're going to have to throw that ball. That's just an awful stat.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I see. Like, a sack is obvious. I guess a knockdown is obvious if you say he's knocked down.
Also, another stat that is very home team efficient in the stats books.
Yeah.
Home teams get a lot more hurries than the away teams.
Well, and that's another thing about NHL rinks is that sometimes, I mean, Cal Clutterbuck would always have, like, even some of the hits in Dallas. I remember Mark Fistrick, the local guy, and he came, like, he always, when he played for the Stars, he always had tons of hits. But it was like, well, they might give out a few more in Dallas. All right, that was our top 3.
They lie.
Dumb sports stats for Fuge Sausage. Dustin Nielson is going to join us, but first, the Coob with a sports update for Advantage Sports Medicine.
The NHL slate has the Hurricanes battling the Penguins, the Sharks meeting the Jets, and the Avs hosting the Anaheim Ducks. In the lone CFL game, the Ticats kick off against the Stamps with the NFL injury report seeing Juan Jennings out, while Deebo Samuel and Jordan Mason are in this week for the 49ers. Right now, the Mets are up 5-1 in Game 5 of the NLCS, with the Mets looking to stay alive against the Dodgers, who hold a 3-1 lead in the series. Later in Cleveland, the Yankees and Guardians will meet for Game 4 of the ALCS, with that set at 2-1 in favor of the Yankees. This sports update has been brought to you by Advantage Sports Medicine and Physiotherapy. Get treated like a pro with their highly skilled crew. Whether you're recovering from an injury or looking to enhance your performance, Advantage Sports Medicine and Physiotherapy uses the same locker room approach, trusted by the best in the game. Find them online at advantagesportsmed.ca. Right after the break, EST's CEO Dustin Nielson joins the Reid Wilkins Show. I'm Zachary Kubish. That was your sports update.
Ready for an unforgettable sports experience? It's the EST Flyaway to LA. Presented by the 780. Listen daily for the EST Flyaway keyword. Once you hear it, text us at 780-218-9999 for your chance to qualify to fly to LA. Round trip flights for 2, hotel and car rentals, all to go see Edmonton face off against either LA or Anaheim. Plus, experience the brand new Intuit Dome as the Clippers tip off against the Warriors, and top it all off with the Rams kicking off against the Cardinals at SoFi Stadium. This is more than just a trip. This is the ultimate sports experience. The EST Flyaway to LA, presented by the 780 and Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for Edmonton sports.
Your brand deserves more than just a whisper, it deserves a buzz. At the Hive Product Marketing, they specialize in promotional products that bring the buzz. From eye-catching giveaways to unforgettable keepsakes, they got the perfect products to make your brand stand out and get noticed. Visit the Hive Product Marketing and let them create the buzz your business deserves. The Hive Product Marketing, the official merch partner of Edmonton Sports Talk. Visit them online at thehiveproductmarketing.com.
If you've been injured in a car collision, let James H. Brown and Associates, Alberta Injury Lawyers, protect your interests. They'll be there every step of the way to help answer your questions and help you get your life back on track. Trust Alberta's precedent-setting injury lawyers with their unrivaled experience, unrivaled results, and unrivaled commitment. When accidents happen, call James H. Brown and Associates, Alberta Injury Lawyers, 780-428-0088, or go to jameshbrown.com.
Gallo LLP is an Alberta-based accounting firm with expert chartered professional accountants accountants in both our Edmonton and Sherwood Park accounting firms. Our experienced and innovative accountants provide financial advice that saves our clients money. Simply put, we help our clients protect their assets and grow their businesses. At Gallo LLP, they go beyond the numbers to ensure the continued success of your business. Reach out to Preet or John to discuss how they can help your business grow. Visit gallollp.ca today and see how they can help you take your business to the next level.
Oh, hey, everybody. I was just talking to Blue Guy about his furniture days.
We'll have to get into that one.
You don't want to get in? Well, yeah. Not right now, though.
Behind the scenes of the furniture industry.
The furniture industry.
Yeah.
What would a documentary be called on the seamy underbelly of the furniture industry? Under the Couch. Something like that.
Well, the furniture industry got incredibly screwed by government.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
It's not my fault.
And it was because of Canadian producers. Believe it or not.
Canadian producers urged the government to make a change that then in turn screwed them?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Well, it's a long story.
Okay, we'll tell that story some other day.
We probably
that
won't.
might be. We probably won't. That could be an off-topic topic. Our actual off-topic today for William Huff, as we bring the host of the Nielson Show on Edmonton Sports Talk onto the Reid Wilkins Show. Dustin, how are you doing?
I'm doing all right, boys. How are you?
We're doing great. Our off-topic topic is, what was your favorite thing to do Friday after school? And we're thinking pre-grade 9 and in the autumn, like this time of year. Like it's not full-on blizzard, snowy. What was your favorite thing to do on a Friday after school in your innocent youth?
First of all, furniture documentary, Beneath the Cushions. I think that would be that's a good idea.
That's nice.
I grew up, I was a farm kid, so we would, we'd get off the school bus and probably just be on the farm for the rest of the weekend. Usually, every day after school, we'd watch Inspector Gadget, so that didn't change. We'd probably watch that on a Friday. If we were able to go into town, we'd go to a place called Munt's Video, and we rent videos for the weekend. So that was a big one. And I spent a lot of time just playing hockey in the back pasture behind our trailer on our farm. So I'd probably be out there for a couple of hours. I had a shooter tutor, and I'd just go and run and shoot and do play-by-play and do that until my parents would make me go to bed. So that was your typical Friday night around the Nielson household when I was little.
I love anything involving video rental because mine was renting a movie or two for the weekend and spending a roll of quarters at the arcade. But
yes,
you might be too young for that.
Well, no, I remember there was one arcade in the mall in there's two malls in Cranbrook, if you can believe it, rival malls for a while. Anyway, the one mall, the Tamarack Mall, had an arcade, and it was like in behind. There was like it's kind of like a gift store, and then you walk through the gift store, and then the arcade was in the back. So we used to go hit that up when we go to the mall. Mom would give me a few quarters, and I go hit up the arcade. I have to say before we get moving along here, boys, stream is going very well today. I landed in Vancouver right as your show started. Tuned in I checked all three: iHeart, EdmontonSportsTalk.com, TuneIn. All were working very smoothly. Like we've been having problems with that for a couple weeks. I built a top 5 list of suspects in the sabotage of our internet line. I don't know if you guys have you done that yet? Because
I did say how when you were talking to Marshall last night after power skating, he suggested that this might be an inside job. And after seeing the picture from the Rogers tech, I asked him to text it to me, and he said I can't. So
what?
Yeah, he said he couldn't text it to me.
But he showed it to you.
He showed it to me, and this thing was screwed up. This was definitely an inside job. So yeah, Marshall's theory is really coming to light.
Well, Marshall's theory is number 2 on my list. Number 1 on my list is Stoff as revenge for us taking Reid Wilkins.
Yes.
They had to leave 6:30, go to 8:80. So Stoff, the one that everybody's thinking, and I'll just say it because Marshall, that was his theory last night, 1440.
Yes.
Obviously, destroyed the cable. That was Marshall's very first thought. He goes, Daddy, it must have been 1440. I was like, who knows, man? Who knows? Number 3 on the list, Matthew Iwanek happens to go away for a couple of days. This was not a cable or a line inside the building. It was vandalized outside in the area around the building. Who else would know something like that outside of Matthew Iwanek? Number 4 on the list, my arch rival. We were talking about him this morning on our show. My arch rival from Save On Foods back in the day, Pius. We had a rivalry then. Maybe he finally strikes now. And then the 5th guy, and it pains me to put him on this list because I don't ever think he could do it. But which one of our staff members has experience in the internet and cable game?
He's sitting right
and that
out
is
there.
one Joaquin Gage. So I love Gager. I don't think he would ever do it, but you have to look at people who would have the knowledge to pull off a ploy like this. I just can't think of the reason he would do it. It doesn't make a lot of sense to me.
Normally the stream is on out in that main room, and I'm talking a little quieter, but right now Gage and Hernan are watching F1, so they don't even know.
They're watching Formula One. Yeah.
There you go.
I think we're in like the third shootout of the sprint qualifying right now. So,
So you're suggesting Iwanek would do it while he was away to prove his worth to the station?
Yes, yeah.
Because no one else could fix it.
Yes, 100%.
Wow. Looking for a pay bump.
That's diabolical.
Hey, Dustin, and while we're just shooting it around here, Reid and I every day that we set the goal of getting to 100 likes throughout our show, and
yes.
thankfully the nasties have been coming through for us, and it looks like we're on pace again. But normally you communicate to Reid what the treat is or what the prize is. I mean, I know earlier in the week you got us a bottle of Happy Pop to share. The other one was
we had a leftover morsel of turkey.
Turkey, yes, yeah. The turkey that was cooked. So we didn't see anything. We didn't have any communication with you because you were on the flight. But we've both been buzzing and wondering what kind of treat you left us in the office here that you're going to now tell us and uncover this.
Actually, it's not in the office because I wanted to make it special. I asked for 2 extra bags of pretzels on the airplane.
Okay.
And they're coming home for you guys.
Yes.
If you end up getting 100 thumbs up.
We don't even have to share
Airplane
it.
pretzels. Yeah, we're not sharing. We're moving up in the rankings.
What did Gager just come in and say?
Gager just said HR will be contacted regarding your accusation. Not your accusation, your suspicion.
Whatever. I don't think he has a motive, but he's got the knowledge, right? Maybe it's a Iwanek and Gager working together in some sort of coup. Like, who knows?
a coup d'etat, as we used to say in Edinburgh. All right. I guess you expect us to talk sports with you. I'll leave the football for Jay.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. We can do whatever. I thought that was an encouraging performance by the Oilers last night. I would just use the word solid. Of course, not perfect. It's never perfect, but we're the better team the majority of the game. Just kind of took care of business. To me, they just, I know sometimes we have to talk, but not even just last year, like the team of the last 3 years, that they just go out there and know how to win a game.
Yeah, it's interesting because I didn't even, as I was watching the third period last night, I didn't even really get the sense that Nashville was kind of closing in on the shot clock even. I thought the others just played a pretty tidy game the entire way. And I think we have to be careful on both sides of it. Obviously, when they started the season 0-3, you're sitting there after every single game and breaking down every single side of it. Because, 5-on-5, I thought they were really good yesterday. It was their best defensive performance. Does that mean they're technically figuring out their defensive side of the game and everything's coming together? Maybe, maybe not. We'll see how it sorts itself out. I do think it's pretty obvious that Stetcher is the best fit alongside Darnell Nurse. Darnell Nurse is his best couple of games since Stetcher slid in beside him. Obviously, Stetcher fighting the next game. Nurse was like, okay, well, I got to go too because he's my little defensive partner. So, it was an encouraging sign. I thought Hernan made a good point last night on the GCL Diesel postgame show where he also did say he's not sure if Nashville's that good this year, which, watching them last night, did the Oilers just play that well? Maybe they did. But when you combine what we saw from Nashville last night and the fact that they started 0-for prior to that, they got a pretty good roster. I like the team. They got a good goalie. They got the franchise defenseman. The new guys, I think, will eventually make an impact. So I think they'll be better. But last night they didn't really move the needle much for me.
I got to ask you something about that fight because I texted you, Jay, after the fight. Because a lot of fights in the NHL, and you probably heard Brownie used to say this to me all the time, the guys fight and then they go to the penalty box, and more often than not, they're like smiling or nodding at each other or thanking each other. But I felt like Nurse and McCarron, and I know it was their second fight, I felt like they actually hate each other.
I'll take it. I don't think there's enough guys in the NHL or really across sports anymore as opposition that truly hate each other. I feel like back in the day, all of the Flames hated all of the Oilers and vice versa. If Darnell Nurse hates one guy in the league and he's going to fight him multiple times, I think we got to take it. I mean, I think that's probably something that we just have to run with it. Now, next time they play Nashville, we can go, oh my God, Nurse's bitter rival. Let's see what happens. So, no, I didn't hear Rob Brown bring that up because I never used to listen to you, Reid.
Cold now, Dustin.
I'm kidding.
Dusty, we know you're in BC calling what should be a thrilling game tomorrow night between Montreal and BC. BC's already locked up. They can't really move up in the standings. They're going to be the visiting team for the Western semifinal. But in the East, and still in the West, maybe not this week, but next week. But in the East, there's still obviously a lot of jockeying to do as to see who's going to finish where. As you know, and as you've covered the CFL, you see that teams that get hot at the right time, particularly in this time of the season or after Labor Day, have gone on to have successful runs and even make runs and win the Grey Cup. Who do you see as that team that's coming into that mold right now or as we finish the season?
Well, I am in Vancouver, and it's raining, and it's miserable. I know it's when it's nice down here, it's cool to live here. But I got in the cab, and the guy was just like, "Where you come from?" I was like, "Edmonton." He goes, "Is it raining there?" I said, "No, it's not." He said, "When do you leave?" I said, "Sunday." It's gonna be raining here Sunday too. It's and no, that doesn't impact the game. It's in a dome. It doesn't matter. But to answer your question, Reid, part of me wanted to say Toronto. But Ottawa's kind of just fallen off so much that maybe I just think Toronto's playing a little bit better simply because they're going to track down the Red Blacks and move past them. I think the answer is probably the Riders. I think the answer, and that's now the Bombers had won 8 in a row prior to the loss last week. So maybe the easy answer, as it has been for the last few years, it's always just it's the Bombers. But we saw it last year in the Canadian Football League. Montreal Alouettes got red hot down the stretch, went on, won the Grey Cup. Started this season amazing, basically didn't lose a game for like a calendar year. So I think that team could be the Riders. They've won 4 in a row. It'll be interesting to see because I'm doing their game next week. I'm doing the Edmonton game Friday, then I'm doing the Riders game Saturday. And if Winnipeg doesn't win in Montreal, if the Riders win that game, they're going straight to the West Final at Mosaic, which would be absolutely huge for the Riders. But we have to remember, the Riders started well. Trevor Harris got hurt. He comes back. He was playing well, but they weren't winning. Now he's still playing well, and they are winning again. So they've got arguably the best player in the league on the defensive side of the ball in Roland Milligan. They've got a veteran quarterback in Trevor Harris, who I think is one of the top 3 or 4 guys in the league. He's got a ton of offensive weapons. I think the Riders might be that team that you're looking for.
Oh, I don't know. You know what I think about Winnipeg. But I see why you're saying that about their. Still, here's the thing, Dustin. To me, in a one-game showdown head-to-head, I still take Collaros over Harris. And I know it's more than just the quarterbacks, but I still take Collaros over Harris.
You're probably right. But Zach has not been this year what he's been the last few years.
Yeah.
Right? His offensive line is not what it was the last few years. He's been pressured a little bit more. He doesn't have Dalton Schoen. I think the Bombers are going to have success. It's probably going to be on the backs of Brady Oliveira and then Zach with the odd big play here or there. And I think it'll probably come down to, and it should be, next week Montreal will be playing for nothing. Winnipeg will still be looking to lock up that West Final at home. If that game is in Princess Auto Stadium in Winnipeg, which I think is the hottest ticket in the country, they're going to win that game. But if the Riders can can somehow steal away home field in the West Final, I think they'd win that game on home soil. So, and I think the Riders have a better chance of going into Winnipeg and winning than Winnipeg would have going into Mosaic. Like, I don't know, man. The Bombers just I know they won 8 in a row, but they're not as impressive as they were the last 4 years when they went to the Grey Cup offensively, in my opinion.
Right. Okay. Hey, thanks for taking the time to hop on the show. I know you just landed recently, and boy, are your arms tired. Have a great call tomorrow, and we'll see you next week.
See you guys later. Have a good show.
All right. That is the boss here at EST, and, of course, the host of the Nielson Show every morning, Dustin Nielson. Appreciate him taking the time to hop on. We go on each other's shows periodically and have some laughs. It's time to qualify somebody for the Flyaway to LA, presented by the 780, a homegrown local shop right here in Edmonton. 780, both the shop name and their in-house clothing brand that celebrates all things unique to E-Town. They also work with close to 100 local vendors from the 780 area code to help promote and get their brands off the ground. Now, the website, 780.com, it's the word 7 and then the numbers 8 and 0.com. 5 locations: Southgate, Londonderry, Kingsway, St. Albert, and the Outlet Mall by the airport. We're going to give you a keyword. You'll have a few minutes to text that keyword in to 780-218-9999. We're qualifying 4 people every day. Nielsen Show, Hangout, Hernan and Gager Show, this show, and then once on Saturdays during Hello Hockey. We're also going to qualify someone from the Nasty Club. This goes on until November 28th, and then November 29th on the Nielsen Show, we give the trip away. The trip, Boxing Day until December 30th, flight for 2 to Los Angeles, hotel, rental car, tickets to Clippers, Warriors, Rams, Cardinals, and an NHL game that will feature Edmonton. Pretty awesome stuff. The keyword today is Zegras. Or the key name, I guess. The keyword, key name is Zegras. Text that in, 780-218-9999. We are camped out in the James H. Brown studio. James H. Brown Personal Injury Law Firm, the heavy hitters of injury law. With over 200 years of experience, James H. Brown will get you the settlement you deserve. JamesHBrown.com. Book your private consultation today. We got Buying or Selling, presented by Damon Bunting, when we bring you back to Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for Edmonton sports.
It's 3 games in the NHL with the Ducks visiting the Avalanche, the Jets battling the Sharks, and the Hurricanes going at it against the Penguins. CFL Week 20 kicks off when the Hamilton Tiger Cats host the Calgary Stampeders, and the NFL injury report sees Deebo Samuel and Jordan Mason ready to come back for the 49ers, while Nick Chubb for the Browns gets ready to play his first game in over a year. Elsewhere, Jacoby Myers from the Raiders and Aaron Jones of the Vikings are questionable this week. Right now, the Mets lead the Dodgers 8-2 in Game 5 of the NLCS, and later, it's Game 4 between the Yankees and the Guardians, with the Yankees up 2-1 in that series. The Reid Wilkins Show continues right after the break. I'm Zachary Kubish, keeping you up to date.
Conveniently located 10 minutes west of St. Albert, Wheeler's RV Storage will provide you with safe, secure storage for your RV, boat, or whatever you need to store. Open 7 days a week with gated keypad access and extra large stalls. Now is the time to take advantage of their limited time offer. Buy 6 months and get 1 month free. Now's the time to go to WheelersRVStorage.com. That's Wheeler's RV Storage. Safe, secure storage. Visit them today at WheelersRVStorage.com.
780 is just another lame-ass, low-budget local shop. Homegrown right here in Edmonton. 780 is both the shop name and their in-house clothing brand that celebrates all things unique to E-Town. They also work with close to 1,000 local vendors from the 780 to help promote and get their brands off the ground. Check them out online at 780.com or at any of their 5 locations at Southgate, Londonderry, Kingsway, St. Albert, and the Outlet Mall by the airport.
Fuge Sausages makes their meat with nothing but the best local ingredients. From chicken, beef, and pork, their gluten-free sausages are packed with flavor. Every single bite. Get a 10% discount when mentioning Edmonton Sports Talk in-store or use the code EST when shopping online at fugesausages.ca. Plus, you get free delivery on orders of $100 or more. Find them at 6736 99th Street. Fuge Sausages. You can't beat our meat.
At Mind360, we invite you to embark on your mental health journey in a safe and comfortable space. Conveniently located in St. Albert, Mind360 has a diverse team of experienced clinicians that offer a broad range of tailored services for children, adults, and families. Furthermore, we are very proud to serve our military, veterans, and first responders. If you're looking for counseling, treatment, or assessment, understand that you are not alone. Contact Mind360 at mind360.ca to book an appointment today.
Doing a good job. Zach Kubish.
Mr. Koob.
Koob, you're doing great. It's a pleasure working with you, buddy.
We are in striking distance of getting not one, but 2 packs.
Well, I think it's all or nothing.
Oh. No, but I know.
Oh, yeah, you're saying we actually get one each this time.
Yeah. Yeah. That would change my life.
If we get 100 thumbs up on YouTube, Dustin brings us a pack each of airplane pretzels. There has to be at least 5 pretzels in each pack. At least.
Can't wait to destroy those.
Yeah, we're almost there. Give us a thumbs up on YouTube. Call your buddies. Give us a thumbs up.
Twitter
all that
Mary
fun stuff.
Did get in and said, "Come on, pretzels! I left you guys some cookies and cupcakes.
Yes,
not free.
Her products are appreciated and delicious. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. 780-218-9999 is the EST Inbox. Of course, the Nasty Chat off and running on YouTube as well. We'll have our qualifier for the flyaway to LA presented by the 780 in the next few minutes as well. We have, and he joined us in studio yesterday, which was pretty cool, Buying or Selling presented by Damon Bunting, who's a consistent top-producing realtor in Greater Edmonton and among Western Canadian RE/MAX realtors. He and his team would love to help you find that right home or make the move from your current home. Community-driven, he understands what it takes to make a difference in our city. Online, DamonBunting.com. On Instagram, his handle, Damon Bunting Real Estate. As we will focus on the Oilers here after a 4-2 win over Nashville last night. Tomorrow's game in Dallas, don't forget, it's a matinee 2 o'clock game. So our Oil Stream pregame show will start at 1, and Tom will be live from Hudson's on
West Edmonton Mall.
Bourbon Street, right?
Yeah, Bourbon Street.
Awesome stuff. Was that where we first met? We had lunch there once.
Yeah,
with Dustin
it would
and
have
Matt.
been. Yeah. That would have been our first meeting.
Yeah.
What did you think of me when you first met me? Were you like, oh my God,
well, again,
this
I was
is the guy?
confused because they were like glue guy. And then you were like, yeah, I own a furniture store. And I was like, I thought you owned a glue factory or a glue store or something.
Thought my name was
And you were,
Elmer?
no, I'm the glue guy because I bring people together.
Yeah.
And I was like, so is there any actual glue involved, physical glue? And you were like, no.
No.
And I was like, oh, okay. But for furniture glue? I don't know.
Maybe your Marvel background just said, that's BS, man. I wanted this to be a power of yours.
Yeah, like you turn into glue or you shoot glue out your fingertips
glue
or
out
something.
and just mend people. Mend broken hearts.
Oh, that would be a good superpower.
That'd be scary. Sometimes a broken heart's okay.
I guess.
If
you can grow and learn as an individual.
Exactly.
All right. Buying or selling for Damon Bunting. What do you have for me?
Well, watching the game last night, you just saw it seemed like a better, in their own zone defensive effort and attempt to get in the way of pucks.
Are you saying they were more bought in?
Woo. Lovely. Yes, I am saying that.
The Oilers had more buy-in.
Last night they blocked 18 shots. Their season average up to this point has been 11.
So really? I didn't even look into that. Okay.
Yeah, so, quite a significant jump. Do you think, did you agree with that take that was a more gritty effort in their own zone? And B, what about block shots as a part of stats?
Okay.
What's your assessment
That's a good
on that?
question.
Yeah.
That's a good question. Okay, do I think the Oilers were more bought in their own zone? Yes, I think they were more bought in all over the ice.
Sure.
I think they were more detailed. They used that word connected a lot, which I think just means there's not You're not leaving your teammate on an island. And we talked a lot after the first 3 games, those cross-ice passes and just being sort of spread out in the defensive zone. I mean, nobody was flying the zone early or being lackadaisical back-checking. They were generally in the right spots. They were generally in the way. And then, okay. So you're asking me if I view... Well, maybe you're not asking me this, but I'll try to clear, because I might be a little nitpicky here.
Why don't you ask me what you think I'm asking?
Okay, yes. Are you asking me if I think blocked shots is a significant stat for evaluating the defensive play of a team?
Yes. Is it a statistical variant that you would say would, higher block shots is relevant to success in wins?
Okay. I'm going to say yes to a degree. Now, again, let's use an exaggerated scenario. What's a perfect game? No blocked shots, no hits, because you have the puck for 60 straight minutes, which, of course, is impossible. There are some nights in which a team doesn't have a lot of blocked shots because they just might be vastly superior to the other team and have the majority of the puck possession. But I do think blocked shots is an indicator of taking away the important area of the ice, the slot, the home plate area in front of the net, and just having people there to prevent the puck from getting through. There is a flip side to this argument, and I remember when Chris Russell joined the Oilers, there were a lot of people in the, I think many of them were analytics-based, that didn't think Chris Russell was a valuable player. And people would say, yeah, but look at what he does. Like, he blocks so many shots.
Yeah.
And they said, and the counter to that was, no, he gives up the blue line too easily and then has to block a shot to play defense. Like, I remember he was disparaged by some people for, they said that him being good at blocked shots actually was an indicator that he's not good defensively because the puck is in his end a lot. And there, when we talk about Corsi and Fenwick, right, Fenwick leaves out, I believe it leaves out blocked shots. So I do think you have to be careful. I mean, there have been, like, what did Bouchard have yesterday? Bouchard had 3 shots on goal and 4 blocked. So he had 7 shot attempts. Is it good for the Nashville Predators that they're blocking Bouchard shots? Probably not, because you're giving him time to fire away, or you're playing shorthanded, just in general.
And it's dangerous.
So, I don't necessarily... It's a really good question, Jay. And I do think blocked shots is an important stat. And I do think it's a skill in hockey, or at least it is to some extent an indicator of commitment and positioning, right? But I don't know if you could show me only the blocked shot columns from a game I didn't watch and didn't know the results of and have me predict who won.
Sure.
Like, say you showed me a sheet. Okay,
that's
Reid,
a fair point.
Hey, Reid,
yeah.
I know you didn't watch this game, but Team A had 25 blocked shots and Team B had 11. Okay. But maybe, the team that only had 11 blocked shots only gave up 11 shots on goal, and they were just constantly had the puck in the other team's end. So it's a good argument. I do think that I do think depending on your position and your role, blocking a shot can be valuable. And to bring the Chris Russell argument back into this, every player has his own way to stay in the NHL, right? Like. Yeah. Some guys never score, but they win 57% of their faceoffs. It'd be nice if he scored, but he can win faceoffs. Maybe Chris Russell can't go end to end, and maybe he doesn't deny the blue line as well as you like, but he'll sure as hell get in the way of the puck and then try to get it out from there. So you gotta find a way to make yourself relevant and stay in the league. I don't know if I really answered your question, but there is far more than I thought I would ever discuss about blocked shots on a Friday afternoon.
I think you did. I just thought it was I just wanted to bring it up because I noticed it. It seemed like there was an attempt to block more shots, and obviously they blocked more shots than any other game. Coob, do we have somebody on the line?
I'm actually just ringing them up right now.
Okay.
Because I did not want them...
My YouTube says we're at 99 thumbs up, one away from a couple bags of pretzels from Dustin Nielson.
Let's make it happen.
But I think, and other things... All right, so if you're shorthanded... 10 times in a game, you're probably going to block more shots because you're shorthanded.
Yeah.
So you could wind up with 40 blocked shots, but also still give up 4 power play goals and lose the game because you're letting the other team have the puck and fire away.
Maybe this is for something in later in the show, but like other than goals,
right?
What's the most telling stat of a winning hockey club?
Other than goals, what's the most? Okay, so I can't say goals for or goals against.
We get pretzels. No, you can't.
Well, that's a good question.
I
was going to say goal differential, but that's actually what you're asking me.
I mean, a raw stat. I mean, what do we got here? Shot attempts blocked.
Well, I would say shot differential would still likely factor in. And that's where.
What about face-off percentage?
That's where. It's not the be-all and end-all.
I mean, it was 55
important.
for Nashville last night, 45 for Edmonton, so that doesn't tell anything.
But I said shot differential, but that's also why Corsi came in, right? Because that's the argument of the analytics community, is that Corsi adds up shots, blocked shots, plus missed attempts. So if my team has 70 shot attempts and your team has 50, whether they were on goal or not, the analytics people would say Reid's team had the puck more, so more times out of 10, they're going to win that game.
What about penalties in minutes?
I don't know, because there's probably some highly penalized teams who are very good. We're really diving into the weeds here.
I like the weeds.
What do you think?
Penalties in minutes, I'd say would be. I mean, the cheeky answer here is plus minus because it's not doesn't say goals in it, but
right.
Penalties in minutes. I think that would be
a team who's penalized less
more or less. Yeah, less.
Well, should be a better team.
Yes,
because you're playing even or on the power play more.
Yeah. Who do we got, Coop?
Yeah.
Josh.
All right, Josh, you're on with Reid and Jay. You're the qualifier for Flyway to LA, presented by the 780. How are you doing?
Oh, I'm good, Reid. How are you?
Doing very well. Who would you take to Los Angeles if you won the trip?
Oh, well, I'll probably take my wife, but we're going honeymooning in January, so maybe I can get away with grabbing my brother or my buddy.
Oh, wow. Okay, can you share where the honeymoon is?
Cancun.
Oh, excellent. Okay. Have you been to LA before?
Once before. That was when I was 6 years old.
Okay, so this would be a totally. Was there any sports viewing involved in that first trip?
No, just a lot of Disneyland and Universal.
Okay, awesome.
Hey, the off-topic topic today was what was your favorite thing to do, in those, let's say those junior high years on a Friday after school?
Oh, mostly it was either going to watch some hockey team in town or farming whenever my dad needed my help.
Where'd you grow up?
Concert.
Ooh,
beautiful.
Nice. Okay, cool.
Well, congrats. Be tuned in on November 29th. The fellows are going to be making a call during the morning show, so make sure you are by your phone. Congrats. You are our newest qualifier for the Flyaway to LA, presented by the 780.
Perfect. Thanks, boys.
Right on. And yeah, November 29th, like Jay said. Isn't that where Katie Lang is from? Consort?
Could be.
If only I had a magical box that allowed me.
She performed in a lot of concerts.
Oh, my goodness. Katie Lang.
Starzilla says goalie save percentage, but that's a goal stat, right? I mean, we're trying to say
no, because
things
you
that
could have
aren't
a high save percentage and still give up a lot of goals if your team gives up a lot of shots on goal, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the penalties might be, we'll see.
We'll have to track that. We'll wait maybe till the halfway point of the season.
That's
and
a good
see,
idea.
Okay, who are the playoff teams? How are they in? Because you're just talking penalty minutes. You're not even talking about efficiency on the power play or the PK.
No.
You're just saying a team that takes fewer penalties should win more games.
I mean, think about that, though. Think of that common sense-wise. Doesn't that make sense?
Yes, it does.
Yeah.
Does it apply in reality? We'll find out.
Well, the Dodgers are finding out right now from the Mets.
What is it now?
Mets are up 10-2, top of the fifth. Yay.
So so a relief pitcher entering the game for the Mets would not get a hold because team's ahead by too many runs.
Yeah.
But see, that's the thing. If I go in, well, no, there are rules for saves if you pitch 3. Okay, anyway, I'm not going to dive into that. It's 4:57. We're still going to have Doug McLean to talk a little bit of Oilers and also tee up a big game for the U of A Golden Bears football team this weekend. Jay will dive more into what fired him up for Gemco earlier today. We also have our afternoon debate. Going to be a fun final hour on the Reid Wilkins Show with Jay Milne.
Get all the latest news and takes on everything Oilers with Dustin Nielson and Tom Gazzola on the Oil Stream. Live at noon, Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays. Only on EdmontonSportsTalk.com.
Hi there. If you're like me, you like to picture yourself in luxury, even though there's absolutely no way you could afford it. And if you can, well, even better. Thankfully, I picture myself in something that is luxury, but still absolutely affordable, like the all-new Mazda CX-90 from Park Mazda. With the new luxury features like facial recognition settings and quilted detail Napa leather seating, I can pretend to be comfortable with all of my proper settings activated without even touching the button, thanks to Mitch Lewicki and the great staff at Park Mazda. I like to picture Mitch Lewicki as a ninja fighting off evil samurai.
Park Mazda, your dealer for life in Sherwood Park off Y Road, parkmazda.ca.
Since 1952, William Huff has been the heartbeat of Edmonton's advertising world. From humble beginnings to a citywide powerhouse, we've been the go-to for signage from print to design and installation. Partnering with Edmonton's top sports franchises and major events, we've helped shape the city's global reputation. Our secret? Unmatched customer service, decades of experience, and a passion for excellence we call the William Huff Advantage. Visit us online at williamhuff.com.
You've always known GCL Diesel as the experts in diesel fuel systems. But did you know that GCL is also your source for turbochargers and turbo repair? As a turbo supplier for Garrett, Borg Warner, and Holset, GCL can provide genuine original equipment turbos at wholesale prices. Whether it's diesel, gas, natural gas, or performance, we can provide you with the turbo or custom repair you require. Turbo questions? We've got turbo answers. Visit us in the West End or online at GCLDiesel.com. GCL Diesel, turbochargers, understood.
Don't feel like working? Join the Hangout. You never know what you might hear. Weekday mornings 9 to 11 on EdmontonSportsTalk.com.
The NHL slate has the Hurricanes battling the Penguins, the Sharks meeting the Jets, and the Avs hosting the Anaheim Ducks. In the lone CFL game tonight, the Ticats kick off against the Stamps with the NFL injury report seeing Juan Jennings out, while Deebo Samuel and Jordan Mason in this week for the 49ers. And Cardinals rookie Marvin Harrison Jr. was also a full participant in practice. The Mets right now, in Game 5 of the NLCS, have put up 10 runs. Yes, 10 runs against the Dodgers, having them lead by 8 in the 5th. And it's the Dodgers with a 3-1 lead in that series. Later in Cleveland, the Yankees and the Guardians will meet for Game 4 of the ALCS, with that set at 2-1 in favor of the Yankees. The Reid Wilkins Show with Jay Milne continues right now. I'm Zachary Kubish, and you're up to date.
I'm exhausted. We were playing basketball. By playing basketball, I mean I was standing there, and I got standing there grabbing the loose ball, and I got
Reid's the
exhausted.
rebounder. We've come up with an interesting way of trying to get the ball in the net, and we got it once.
No, what? I never have tipped one in.
You haven't?
I don't think it. Well, okay, I tipped. Yeah. Okay, so what we do? We have this plastic net, plastic basketball hoop that is incredibly hard to score on. So Jay will shoot, and we'll try to, but we think our collective shooting percentage on this net is, you think it's like 5%.
As an office, it's under.
Because it's very hard to score on it, and we shoot from a bit of a distance. So now I've started to stand as a rebounder, and I say to the people shooting, you try to make it. So 19 out of 20 don't go in, and then I try to tip back the rebound, which is incredibly unpredictable.
I want the nickname to be the Admiral.
I am the Admiral. So Gager was like 5 feet wide today. He hit the door frame, and I tipped it off of that, and it went in. But I haven't. But and I feel like you need to see it for it to count.
I believe you. I have no reason to believe you would lie about this.
But I get exhausted playing this.
Doing a lot of work
this
down
little
there.
Game.
Boxing out ain't easy.
780-218-9999 is the EST inbox. You can enter the Nasty Chat on YouTube. We have exceeded our goal of 100 thumbs up. Oh, we've well exceeded it. Far exceeded it. So we get the pretzels, the airplane pretzels from Dustin on Monday, which will be exciting. We're on air tomorrow.
We have to wait till Monday.
There's Hello Hockey tomorrow as well.
Yeah.
At 10. So Gazzola's busy tomorrow. He's doing 10 to noon Hello Hockey, going over to West Ed. 1 o'clock, Oil Stream pregame show with Hernan. Tom will be at Hudson's at West Ed, and then they're on after the game for the postgame show. Should be a good one against the Dallas Stars. I'm hoping for it.
It's a funny time for that game, is it not?
I think it's the time of day.
Yeah.
Well,
that's a big game.
Well, what do you want, like 10:30 at night for it to start?
No.
Welcome to the Milne Sports Network.
6.
Sunday at 10:30 p.m.
Actually, I do like late sports.
The Steelers take on the Canucks.
Because when you put the kids to bed, you can still go in and watch something. Big fan of the lates.
I think there's a quadruple header on Sportsnet and with Hockey Night in Canada.
Quadruple header?
Because I think the Senators play at 11, Oilers play at 2, and then there's the 5 o'clock and 8 o'clock games.
Okay.
I think it's 4 consecutive games tomorrow. All right, we have a segment that debuted earlier this week. Fired up for Gemco Fireplaces, proudly serving Edmonton and area for 45 years, the authorized dealer for Napoleon Fireplaces. Whether it's gas or wood burning, look no further than Canadian-made Napoleon Fireplaces. All the Napoleon products you need are available at Gemco, 9281 50th Street. All right, go ahead, Jay.
You have one too, right?
It's not as exciting as yours.
Well, maybe. So I was asked to, because I went to Bev Facey, as we all know, and I was asked to come back and lead the pep rally, host the pep rally that was happening for their fall sports. So went there yesterday and got a little bit of a lay of the land, but I didn't know what it was. Like, I didn't know, the whole school was coming. Okay. I heard something about spotlights. Okay. I didn't know if I'd be stuck in the office with the microphone or what. So, anyways, I went there today and this is a production. They had a band, like a singer, bass, lead guitar, rhythm guitar, drums.
Yeah.
And then they had a horn section that would mimic, like a pep rally kind of band. And the place was rocking. So we went through all the different teams: swim team, golf team, junior boys, junior girls, volleyball, senior boys, senior girls, and then both football teams. And I came out hard. Because they told me, they're like, these are high school kids. They're not going to want to get into it. And I said, I'll get them going. So I made one joke comparing, because Facey's rivalry in Sherwood Park is Salisbury.
Okay.
That's gone on for a long time. So I pretty much said that Facey's better and bigger and Sal sucks. And everybody, yeah, Sal sucks. So we got that. We got over that hump pretty quick.
Okay.
But I had to keep reminding them to bring up the level. So this, I took a video because I wanted to show Reid, and he thought, okay, that should be something, because these are about 600 fired up students that I am staring down the barrel at, encouraging them to be as loud as I can. So when you're ready, Zach, if you could play that with sound.
Before we introduce the junior boys football team, I'm taking a video. I want everybody in the world to know how loud and proud the Facey Falcons are. Let's hear it!
It was awesome. They were fired up. Now, I did realize about halfway through I had to reel it in a bit, because they would go and do a band interlude, and I was talking to one of the organizers, and my voice cracked. I'm like, oh boy, I better not lose my voice here. So I had to tone it down a bit. But yeah, I was fired up to be there. They were fired up to have me. I'm fired up right now.
There it is.
Repping the Facey Falcons gear again. They reeled me in. So they said they want to have me back.
So who asked you to do this?
Scott Pratt. He's the science department head there.
Okay, and how do you know him?
So Scott was a teacher when I was there.
Oh, okay.
Albeit younger, obviously, duh. But we still play golf together. We played hockey together, and we just stayed in touch. My brother's the art teacher there.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there's a connection there.
Well, and they used to have this ability. Like they used to have a teacher ball hockey game on Thursday nights at 8.
Okay.
And I used to come and join. It was great ball hockey. So I got to know a lot of those teachers there. And then, things change and rules get ruled. And now no teachers are allowed in the school after hours.
Really?
Yeah.
That's weird.
It's injury.
Don't they work there?
Yes. Yeah.
It's if somebody split their head open.
It's this new world.
So why can't they go play ball hockey somewhere else?
Well, it's really nice to be in a gym.
Well, that is convenient. And
with equipment.
And still in your workplace where
and
you know
sticks.
where everything is. Yeah.
Yeah. So, no, that was how that came about.
Okay.
Oddly enough, my brother wasn't even there. He had a chiro appointment during a spare.
So he didn't get to see your performance at the pep
I think
rally.
he saw 10 seconds.
And then he left. Perhaps out of shame?
Well, I was going to make fun of him. I was going to try my best to pull something and get him up there with me and have a good hoot. But he left. No, it was a great production. I was proud to be there, happy to be there. That was an honor to be asked to do that. So I would do it again. I would absolutely do it again. It was fun.
That's awesome. I'm glad you did that. Fired up for Gemco. Mine is pretty simple. I'm actually fired up for tomorrow. I think Dallas and Oilers will be a good game. Kind of an early season marker, I think, for both teams. And obviously with the Oilers here looking, better the last couple of games to get their record up to 2-3. Dallas did have a loss last night, but they're 4-1, so they've kind of jumped out of the gate this season. So I'm looking forward to watching that one in the afternoon. And my plan at the moment, things can obviously change as people know in life, but my plan at the moment is to go to the Golden Bears Huskies game tomorrow at 7:00. And it's fun for me because I can be a little bit more of a fan at those games. Like I don't cheer or get, too hyper or anything, but I'm going there not to cover the game. I would be going to watch the game and greatly hope for a Golden Bears victory. So they play tonight. So if the Bears win tonight, they'll have a chance to go 6-0 tomorrow. If they don't win tonight, then they'll have a chance to go 5-1 and even it back up with the Huskies. But some of my seeing those two teams play each other has, I guess, been a part of my career and my life. So when I hear the words Golden Bears Huskies, that sparks some things for me. When I was in my second year at NAIT, well, you do 4 semesters. So my first semester was January to April of 1998. And then semesters 2 and 3 were 98-99 school year, hockey year. And during that time, I volunteered at CJSR with a gentleman named Bob Stauffer, doing some intermissions and very limited hosting for some Golden Bears radio broadcasts, which included the Huskies beating the Golden Bears at Clare Drake Arena to win the Canada West Championship Series. And I can't remember, I must have been down there to wrangle somebody for a post-game interview, and because the Huskies won, I think we're going to try to get a Husky first. And I remember, and this was a big deal for the Huskies to win in Edmonton, right? Like teams don't win a lot of games at Clare Drake, as people know. And I remember being right in their tunnel as they're coming off the ice, lifting the trophy and yelling, and their fans are swarmed around the tunnel. And I'm like the guy who wanted the Golden Bears to win. So that was okay, you're here to work. You can't hate these guys and fight them. Not that I would have done well. And oddly enough, a guy named Jeff Henkelman, who was a defenseman on that team, later played for the Lloydminster Border Kings and was on their blue line when I did play-by-play for the Border Kings winning the Allen Cup at Stony Plain.
Oh, wow.
Bit of a weird connection. But then just Well, one of the games that that in my life I wish I could have attended was in the University Cup. I can't remember if it was it 06 or 05. Remember the Bears hosted at Rexall Place a couple of years? And which year was it? No, I think it was 05. 05.
That's the year I was there.
Right, and the Bears were down 3-1 in the third period, tied it late, and won in overtime.
Benny Thompson.
And it was on a Monday, and then I got to interview him about that.
Yeah.
During this past hockey season, because he was coming to a game, and he's the reason Draisaitl wears 29.
Yeah.
And he was and somehow I can't remember if Stoff had it or somebody, but I got his number, and he came into Studio 99 and came on the pregame show. But that's the one game. But it was in March. And the hockey playoffs are going on for the junior teams we were covering, and probably the Border Kings at that time. And it just wasn't a good time to take a night off from covering sports in Lloyd to go to Edmonton, because I think it was on a Monday. And then I think I had to watch the game on tape because I think it was working in the evening, so I knew what happened when I sat down to watch it. But that would have been incredible. And then just when I moved back to Edmonton, was able to go to more games now. At the U of A, and I would always try to see a Golden Bears Huskies game, at least one a year. So that's a very special rivalry and matchup in my life.
Of course, it's one of the best in Canada West as well. There's just a natural hate for each other. Did I ever tell you the story of the night of that national championship win in 2005?
No, I don't know this story.
So I was bartending at the Armory, which used to be the Club Malibu on Off-White Ave.
Okay, yeah, it's now like a youth. It was for a while. Yeah, it was.
So it was the Armory then.
Right.
So I asked the manager. I said, "Hey," because we all hung out. So I went into the locker room after with a few of the football guys and said, "Hey, you boys come down to the Armory. We're going to take care of you. We're going to have a big after party there." Because the Monday nights at the Armory at that time were pretty hopping as it was.
Okay.
It was called Industry Night. So it was packed in there. It was crazy. They brought the trophy, they brought the cup, and party, and da 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 da. I get a call. I wasn't working that night. I was part of the fun.
Okay.
But I got a call from our manager the next morning. 10 a.m. Wiping the cobwebs up. He says, "Hey, I think they left their trophy here." I said, "What?" So sure enough, they left the University Cup just upstairs on the what was there a pool table. So I'm like, okay, don't worry about. I'll come by and get it on my way to school. So I got it and I put it, and this was rude of
You
me.
have the University Cup.
I had it in my possession.
Yes,
and that's a really old trophy
and a special trophy.
Yeah. So I actually took it to work. So my dad could hold it and see it and look at
and
it.
Other people are like, "I thought you played football." And you're like, "Yeah, I do."
So I have this in the back of my car, in the trunk of my car. And I didn't tell they were freaking out.
The hockey team.
Because everybody's hungover, wondering where is it. So the word got out amongst the hockey guys. And this isn't like iPhones were not really the thing then. It was like flip phones, and texting wasn't a huge thing. So you could imagine the communication that was going on amongst the players.
Right.
They're freaking out. Jay, did we leave? I don't know, guys. So I kept it, and we took it into the football locker room, and it stayed there for a day before we
the University Cup. That's incredible.
Yeah,
that's a great story.
That was Jed had a little bit of a story like that where they left the Grey Cup in Trent Brown's backseat unlocked.
Oh yeah,
downtown. So yeah. Fun night, though. Benny Thompson, number 29. What's the story with him and Leon? I've never heard
because
that.
then Ben Thompson went and played in Germany for, what was it? I believe a team coached by Peter Draisaitl, and he would work with a young Leon. And Leon liked him and adopted his number. Isn't that crazy how that worked out?
Jody Cerner said, you see that, hey?
Yes.
That you were at Nate at the same time. That's cool.
Yeah.
Small world, huh?
Cool. Yeah. Very small world. Much smaller than some larger planets. 780-218-9999. The off-topic topic, by the way, if you have anything fun to contribute to that too, what's your favorite thing you used to do Friday after school? We're preferably grade 9 or younger, right? You probably don't have a part-time job. You probably got some downtime. You probably don't have to worry about, having a significant other or girlfriend or boyfriend or whatever,
Well, Jim did get in earlier. He said, grew up in the country in Ontario, getting off the school bus, playing sports with my cousins, summer or winter, football, baseball, ball, hockey, pond hockey, etc. YouTube got back, Tube Socks came back, and it says, when we weren't necking with the dames, we had epic games of kick the can that would last for hours, involving 15 to 20 neighborhood kids. Kick the can. My kids still play that from time to time. Zach, do you even know what kick the can is?
I don't think I've actually ever played kick the can. I've heard legendary stories of my father playing kick the can back in the day. But no, I've never kicked around a can. It was usually a rock for me.
I don't think I ever played kick the can, and I'm older than you guys.
Yeah.
We were more sophisticated in Evansburg.
It's like capture the flag, but it's just a can.
We had...
weird.
Yeah, well, we had... what's the video game the guy dropped off? Jason dropped off. We had... I forgot what it is now. Dragon Slayer. We had Dragon Slayer in Evansburg, yes. So I looked up kick the can on Wikipedia, and for the picture, they have this can on all these rocks, and the caption says, a discarded beverage can. Thank you very much. All right. Great. We didn't plan those stories about the U of A and the University Cup and the Huskies.
No.
I believe our next guest is going to have a story about that overtime winning night as well, and he'll tell you what's going on this weekend with the Golden Bears football team. Massive game as they try to kind of salvage their season at this point. Is that fair to say? They're sitting at 2-4. First, we got the Coupe with a sports update presented by Wheelers RV.
It's scoreless midway through the first between the Canes and the Pens, and later the Sharks battle the Jets before the Ducks face the Avalanche. CFL Week 20 kicks off when the Hamilton Tiger Cats host the Calgary Stampeders, and the NFL injury report sees Deebo Samuel and Jordan Mason ready to come back for the 49ers, while Nick Chubb for the Browns gets ready to play for his first time in over a year. Elsewhere, Jacoby Myers from the Raiders and Aaron Jones of the Vikings are questionable this week. In Game 5 of the NLCS, the Mets lead the Dodgers 10-5 in the fifth, and after that, it's Game 4 between the Yankees and the Guardians, with the Yankees up 2-1 in that ALCS series. This sports update has been brought to you by Wheelers RV and Boat Storage, conveniently located 5 minutes east of St. Albert. Wheelers RV is your safe and secure place to store your RV, boat, or whatever it is you want to store. Visit them at WheelersRVStorage.com to take advantage of their limited time offer. Buy 6 months and get one free. Go to WheelersRVStorage.com today to get your storage needs taken care of. And just after the break, Doug McLean joins the Reid Wilkins Show. I'm Zachary Kubish, keeping you up to date.
Ready for an unforgettable sports experience? It's the EST Flyaway to LA. Presented by the 780. Listen daily for the EST Flyaway keyword. Once you hear it, text us at 780-218-9999 for your chance to qualify to fly to LA. Round trip flights for 2, hotel and car rentals, all to go see Edmonton face off against either LA or Anaheim. Plus, experience the brand new Intuit Dome as the Clippers tip off against the Warriors, and top it all off with the Rams kicking off against the Cardinals at SoFi Stadium. This is more than just a trip. This is the ultimate sports experience. The EST Flyaway to LA, presented by the 780 and Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for Edmonton sports.
You want the heavy hitters on your team, both on and off the ice. If you've been injured in a car accident, call the heavy hitters of injury law. James H. Brown and Associates, Alberta Injury Lawyers. With over 200 years of combined injury law experience, their precedent-setting lawyers are ready to help. Locally owned and proud Edmonton Oilers fans, James H. Brown and Associates wants to support you with their unrivaled experience, unrivaled results, and unrivaled commitment. When accidents happen, head to jameshbrown.com. SouthFortChevrolet.com.
Hey Edmonton, ready to take advantage of lower rates and better pricing? South Fort Chevrolet in Fort Saskatchewan has you covered. From rugged trucks to sleek SUVs. And with over 40 years in business, you can trust that you're getting the best deal on your new ride. As the proud title sponsor of the Nielsen Show, EST listeners can drive a little to save a lot with South Fort Chevrolet's transparent pricing and down-to-earth sales team. Visit us today in Fort Saskatchewan or online at southfortchev.com.
All right, hope you're having a great Friday afternoon, almost Friday evening. Hope you have a wonderful weekend ahead of you. Jay Milne, Reid Wilkins, Zach Kubish, The Reid Wilkins Show with Jay Milne on Edmonton Sports Talk in the James H. Brown studio. Great place to be. James H. Brown Personal Injury Law Firm, the heavy hitters of injury law. With over 200 years of experience, James H. Brown will get you the settlement you deserve. JamesHBrown.com is the website. Book your private consultation today. We have such great camaraderie here at Edmonton Sports Talk. Gager and Hernan are still here. Their workday ended almost 3 hours ago. What are they watching? The Flintstones?
CFL. They're just telling jokes.
They're just hanging out.
Probably
chilling out.
Farting and telling jokes.
What did I see? I saw some joke online today. Do you know why you shouldn't fart in an Apple store? Because it doesn't have windows. Thanks, everybody. All right.
Good one.
Yeah, so I was saying tomorrow, the Oil Kings play on Sunday. I know there's a lot going on. Oil Kings have a road game on Sunday, but it's in Red Deer, so you could go. But tonight and tomorrow at 7 is the Bears-Huskies at Clare Drake Arena. Oilers are at 2. And a massive football game tomorrow for the Golden Bears as well, which we'll get into. Doug McLean is standing by. Doug, before we dive into that, because you heard Jay and I talking about the 2005 University Cup final at, I think it was Rexall Place still at the time. Were you not on U of A staff that night? What's your recollection?
Yeah, so I was the events manager with athletics at that time. And so it was a crazy day because the final, of course, at Rexall Place was a Monday night. And that morning, we sort of had a sense of where our ticket sales were going to be. And Ticketmaster kind of guided us, like, just, be prepared for about a 50% walk-up. Okay, well, that's a lot, but sure, we'll be ready. We had 100% walk-up that day. So there were lineups outside Rexall, past the LRT, across the bridge. I mean, it was complete chaos outside. We got everybody in, so that was good. Then, as you guys were talking about, the Bears are trailing. It's 3-2 late. We're set up because we got to do the awards ceremony. So we're set up in one of the Valms down below. We're all set to go. We're kind of sad. The Bears look like they're going to lose. Of course, Ben Thompson scores a goal. We go nuts. And then, Ben Thompson scores again. And we're, again, we got to kind of gather ourselves here a bit because everyone's excited. The Bears have won. We got this award ceremony. So we're running on the ice trying to get everyone organized and set up. And it was a bit chaotic. And then, Jay, you talked about the trophy. That trophy actually had a giant crack. So the cup at the top there was a giant crack between it and the base. So if people would lift it up, there was a risk that a thing was going to fall and land on your head. When we hosted the year after in 2006, they'd actually replaced it. So they had a new cup on top, and then the base. So it was a little more safety conscious by year 2 when the Bears won their second of back-to-backs.
So.
And that was one thing. Sorry, that was one thing. That trophy was amazing how beat up it was.
It was beat up.
Like they add to the Stanley Cup. This thing, you're holding a piece of history, literally.
Don't they just put the team colors in a circle on that year and that's it?
It's on a crest, I believe.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
They don't engrave all the names.
You lifted that thing up and didn't notice it was coming down your head, and it was heavy.
Mm-hmm.
So you and I did the 6 years of basketball together, and I mean, you've been around U Sports, I mean, all your life. What's the best U of A rivalry? Not like for me specifically, it's Bears Huskies hockey. I know that exists in other sports. I know Bears done, but to me, and maybe it's a throwback for me. I don't know if it's quite the same as it was. I want to say probably from mid-'90s to 2015, it was really the peak. Some other schools have started asserting themselves over the last decade. What is it for you for a rival for the U of A?
Yeah, I think you're right on in hockey for sure. It's Saskatchewan. There's no doubt. I mean they've been so dominant in hockey, I mean, like you said, Calgary's crept in. UBC, of course, has been better the last few years, but really it's been Alberta, Saskatchewan for, as you say, close to 30 years. Basketball's been a little bit all over the place. I mean, there's always a rivalry when you play Calgary, and both their men's and women's teams have been really good. UBC as well. We don't see UBC in here as much as we used to. There was a really good rivalry for a few years, not that long ago, sort of mid Brody Clark's time with the Golden Bears, but between them and Lethbridge, they played in the playoffs almost every year. And there's a really good battle between him and Zach Overwater. They actually became teammates with the Stingers shortly after, but for a few years there, I mean, the Bears won. They won every year in that run of a rivalry, but Lethbridge was really good. Some really good battles between those two teams, and specifically those two guys. So that'd be another one I'd throw out as well.
Okay,
Doug, this Canada West is in football is wide open. I mean, you got Manitoba that's leading the way at 5-1, UBC second at 4-2, and then Saskatchewan at 3-3, and then there's three teams at 2-4. I can't remember the last time that there was no outlier at the bottom of this division that was 0-6 currently or 1-5. I mean, everybody here still has a shot. Well, you'd have to go really well, but almost a shot at hosting a playoff game. But we got a big weekend coming up. Obviously, Manitoba's coming to Foot Field. What's going on with the Bears currently? Talk about the quarterback that stepped into it, to take over for the injured Eli Hetlinger, and if you feel that they're going to rely on that run game a bit more this week.
Yeah, I think they will. I mean, because against Manitoba, when they lost that tight one back about a month or so ago, coming down to a missed 2-point convert for the Bears with 50 seconds left, they barely threw the ball that day. I mean, Hetlinger threw, I think, 18 passes, and I think 7 of them were in the last half of the fourth quarter. They put up over 300 yards on the ground. I expect that to be the case, although, I mean, you talked about the player that stepped in, Cade Lebrecq. He started to try to stretch the field a little bit a couple weeks back against UBC. That's something the Bears have really struggled to do, especially post that 3-pick-6 game against the Dinos. So we'll see. Manitoba's got some film on Lebrecq now. I mean, you know yourself, Jay, having been a defensive player, that even just having a little bit of film gives you some tendencies, gives you a bit of a sense of what a player going into his second game will be like. We may see Luke Hornung back on the roster. He is on the preliminary depth chart, so he's a veteran that they can go to if they need to. But it's a team that's relied on the run game all season long. They're dead last in the conference in passing. They're dead last actually in the conference in pass defense as well. But they have a really strong run defense and a strong run offense. So I think from the Bears' perspective, it's going to be run heavy on both sides of the ball tomorrow. But you'll see a big dose of Matthew Peterson, I think.
All right, so I just want to. So it's 1:00 tomorrow at Foot, right?
That's right. Yeah.
Canada West TV. If people want to, who are you doing the game with?
Mark Majot and I'll be doing the game tomorrow.
Excellent. So Manitoba's 5-1, UBC's 4-2, Sask is 3-3, Alberta, Calgary, and Regina are 2-4. So do we, with all those scenarios? I mean, I don't know if the Bears are out with a loss or if they're in with a win, but I assume a loss to go to 2-5 would be. Would there still be a path to fourth?
There could be, because even if Regina wins, they play Regina next week, and the Bears knocked off the Rams 30-6 earlier in the season. So if they were to win, they'd have to win that game, obviously, but they would still be in a position, therefore, to move on. Theoretically, the Bears could actually still host a playoff game. If they win out, they hold the tiebreak on UBC. So UBC would have to lose both. UBC, as I'm just looking, UBC gets Calgary and Manitoba. So they don't play the teams they don't play Saskatchewan, who holds a tiebreak on Alberta. So in theory, the Bears could still finish second. That's a long shot, but not impossible.
All right. Was Manitoba supposed to be this good this year? Because the Bears were supposed to be in first, right?
Yeah, I mean, shows what I know. I really thought coming into this season that there were 3 tiers in Canada West. I thought Alberta and UBC were a clear 1-2. I thought Manitoba and Saskatchewan were going to be pretty clearly 3-4, and then Calgary and Regina as the 5-6. And as we talked about, I mean, that hasn't really proven to be the case. Manitoba's a good team. They're deep. They've got lots of weapons. They spread the ball out Tuchinski's a threat as their quarterback to run. They don't throw the ball a ton either, but he can move. And they've got some good weapons offensively, and their defense has made huge strides. They were giving up 34 points a game last year. They're giving up 12 points a game less. So that's a pretty good way to turn your season or turn your fortunes around. And frankly, I think they're playing for Brian Dobie. He's decided he's going to retire after this season. Again, Jay, you played against Brian Dobie teams when you were at the U of A. Very well-respected coach in Canada West, has always been kind to us, giving us time, trying to get insights on the Bisons. I think you can't discount that factor that they're playing for him. But yeah, big thing for them is just the change defensively. They're just not giving up as many points. They've been a much better defensive team this year.
Is there anything going on, at campus now as far as, I know they had the drone show there. I actually got a message on my phone from Dave McKinnon, who's an alum, that he's does the tailgating at U of A. So that'll be starting at 11 a.m. In the main parking lot there. Is there anything going on for fans during the game this week, Doug? I don't think there'll be another acrobatic drone show, but maybe Doug and Mark tap dancing at center field, or
that's not till after the third quarter. So, and from the booth, it's going to be kind of like Harry Carey. We're just going to be up on the desk, and it'll be a great show. People will love it.
Do you still get because from your from where you're broadcasting, you're right above the main, seating area. Do you still have the Ferocious and the other teams from campus come and collide? Because you're right in front of the visiting team's bench, and that can be a pretty aggressive, loud, earmuffs kind of area. Is that still the place to be for the young supporters around U of A?
Yeah, I think you'll still get a pretty healthy dose of young supporters. I think they've got a lot of if you reserve a seat for the season at Foot, I think that's kind of in front of us too. But with it being the visitor bench, or certainly it's more Golden Bears fans than maybe in the past when the benches were flipped and you'd be in there and you'd have lots of the opposition fans. And then the earmuff piece was probably a little more crucial then. But the fans are right close. If we've got the windows open, you'll hear all kinds of things coming out from the spectators making their voices heard.
Sure do. Okay, Doug. Well, thank you for coming on, and good luck here. Your life's about to get a lot more busy as you enter into the basketball season as well. So thanks for coming on. We'll have to have you again and talk some basketball here in the future.
Anytime, guys. Always happy to join you.
All right, Doug McLean, good trip down memory lane to the 2005 University Cup and teeing it up tomorrow for the Golden Bears against Manitoba.
Do you remember the call from that?
No.
It was Stauffer's call.
Oh, he would have been, yeah. It was the TSN had it on TV, which wouldn't have been him. I don't know who did the game.
The Thompson twins.
Oh, right. Yes, that's right. Yeah, that was incredible.
What an atmosphere.
Yeah, I love the U of A athletics, which it's awesome.
Yeah, it is.
It's awesome. You can't go to anything tomorrow. You're busy, eh? You're being a dad.
Uber for the weekend.
You're the Uber dad.
Yeah, just volleyball.
And they don't even tip, I heard. The Milne kids.
They ask for money. It's the worst. It's the worst situation.
You're like, don't do this when you're adults. Don't ask your taxi driver, your Uber driver for money.
Yeah, I'm going straight from here. We got a tournament at actually it's at Ardrossan, so it's at home. So,
you're going tonight even to see matches.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Okay,
2.
Intense.
8:15 is the second start.
Oh wow,
it's a little late, but I guess it's Friday night.
Yeah,
parents don't have anything to do anyways.
Yeah, what are you gonna do?
Reid, let's get to this break earlier because we're getting back and we're gonna have the afternoon debate.
Oh, great.
And
Can I leave now?
I'm excited for this one because
here's the coop.
Yeah,
here's the coop.
Near the end of the second, the Pens and the Hurricanes are tied at 1 apiece before we see the Ducks host the Avalanche and the Jets play the San Jose Sharks. In the lone CFL game, the Ticats just scored to take the lead to 14-0 in the first quarter against the Calgary Stampeders. Over in baseball, Game 5 of the NLCS has 17 total runs with the Mets up 11-6 in the 6th inning. After that, Game 4 between the Yankees and the Guardians goes with the Yankees leading 2-1 in that set. And In university hockey, the Golden Bears and the Pandas hit the rink against their rival Huskies, with the Golden Bears playing in the Claire Drake Arena and the Pandas out in Saskatchewan. Both clubs face the Huskies on a back-to-back. Also on tap, the Nate Ooks men's hockey team opens their season on the road against the Clippers, while the 2-0 women's team heads to Medicine Hat to try and keep their winning ways going against the Rattlers. Just after the break, it's the afternoon debate here on this Friday edition of the Reid Wilkins Show. I'm Zachary Kubish. That was your sports update.
Wake up with the Nielsen Show with Dustin Nielson and Lieutenant Eric. Weekday mornings 6 to 9 on EdmontonSportsTalk.com.
Looking for a winning strategy for your retirement? Contact me, Joaquin Gage at K4 Financial, where expertise meets dedication. I will always look for a careful approach to your retirement, ensuring your financial future is secure. From tailored strategies to clear, actionable advice, I'm here to guide you every step of the way. Don't leave your future to chance. Get in touch with me, Joaquin Gage, today at k4financial.ca or email joaquin.gage@k4financial.ca to start planning for a brighter future and a more secure retirement.
A&W has a deal for you. What's better than one A&W Mama Burger made with a perfectly seasoned grass-fed beef patty topped with pickles, a slice of onion, ketchup, mustard, and teen sauce served on a toasted sesame seed bun? 2 Mama Burgers for only $9.99. You can enjoy 2 of these delicious, mouth-watering Mama Burgers for only $9.99 at participating A&W restaurants in Edmonton, St. Albert, Sherwood Park, and Devon. What a deal! And to make it even more convenient for you, most A&W drive-thrus are open 24 hours.
Edmonton Sports Talk delivers a mass audience of key, influential customers to your business, all while you associate your company brand with the biggest names, the hottest sports news, and teams from every league around the globe. Oilers and Elks, NHL, NFL, Major League Baseball, and the Association, Formula One, soccer, golf, oh sweet mama! The excitement is palatable on Edmonton Sports Talk. It's where fans go to get their sports fix and where our partners find the most loyal consumers. Contact us today and see how our team on Edmonton Sports Talk can score the biggest goals for your business. With various advertising options available, email business@edmontonsportstalk.com or head to our website and send a message at edmontonsportstalk.com.
Thinking of you's working up my appetite. Looking forward to a little afternoon
debate.
Rubbing sticks and stones together make the sparks ignite. And the thought of loving you is getting so exciting. Sky rockets in flight. Afternoon
debate.
Afternoon
debate.
So are we supposed to say debate, or is it now in there?
We're learning as we go.
We sure are. Okay. We will do afternoon. I got to get to my limericks. I just did 2 today. Where's the big Ukes? He's been sending one every day. Hang on, Yuki. Hang on. The big Uke. In a clash where the Oilers were bold, Kulak scored twice, a sight to behold. Nurse in a fight, stood up for what's right, leaving Preds fans feeling quite cold.
Beautiful.
He's talented. Here are mine for today. A big extension for the Stars' Ottinger. He stops pucks with leg and finger. The Oilers will strive to beat him hole 5. Hard feelings from the playoffs still linger.
Good one.
The Oilers' power play is no concern. Other teams it will certainly burn. The occasional ofer might seem amateur, but it's just a temporary downturn. Whew.
On fire.
And we got this music. Did you record this? Did you make this recording in your basement?
Yeah, I did all the
you and Trev.
Yeah.
Party boy. Yeah. We need someone to come in and play a harp.
Yes.
What a goal to have in life, everybody. To have someone play a harp on your talk show. I really am blessed.
Well, that's a fiddle, isn't it?
What? Well, but we also want to get a harp. We want to get an Irish harp.
So we need a fiddler.
We need a fiddler and a harpist.
Harpist.
What do you call someone who plays the harp? A harpoon?
That'd be a harpist.
I don't know. What are they watching?
Football.
Did you say it was 14-0 Tiger Cats already?
Yeah.
Yep.
Calgary not good. Stamps. All right. It is time for our weekly segment, the Afternoon Debate, presented by Edmonton Garrison Curling Club If you and your team are looking for a fun and exciting way to build some chemistry, look no further than the Edmonton Garrison Memorial Curling Club. Located on CFB Edmonton, the Garrison Curling Club offers 6 sheets of ice, a full-service bar with kitchen, and includes all equipment needed for corporate bonspiels. The Garrison Curling Club is run by Nasties. As an added bonus, they will offer 10% off ice rentals to all EST listeners. Email curling@egmgolf.com. That's egmgolf.com. And mention EST to book your corporate bonspiel today. So 10% off all ice rentals to EST listeners. So here's how this might go. Let's say I'm phoning. I'll be the customer. You be the person answering the phone at the Edmonton Garrison Curling Club. Bring.
Hello, mate.
Hi, I'm looking to rent some ice at the Edmonton Garrison Curling Club.
Sure thing, mate.
By the way, I'm an EST listener.
10% off.
That's how it's going to go.
I don't know what accent that was.
It's okay.
I do think that we do have to challenge ourselves one of these episodes and have every hour we do everything in a different accent.
You know what? That would be scary because if I start doing a voice a lot, it starts to sound like some sort of random ethnicity, which could be a little dangerous because then it could appear that I'm mocking someone's ethnic background, which I wouldn't be. But yeah, that's why I just drop in the occasional voice. All right, it is time for the afternoon debate. What is our topic today, gentlemen?
Yeah, well, I guess I'll lead this off as not the I was going to say, but
as the master debater. Yes.
Yes, I am the master debater, but I will present you guys something a little bit different. You know, we've done pizza, I think, twice. We did superpowers once, but this time around, it's pretty wide scope. You get to pick it. What is the greatest trilogy of all time? And I believe it was Reid last time winning when we did this, winning 2 in a row. So I think that means Jay gets to start with this one.
Well, let me just say this to start. Knowing your 2 brains, I think I'm at a disadvantage off the top because I would have a hard time imagining Reid isn't going some sort of a sci-fi route, maybe an intergalactic route. I'm not. I'm firmly putting my foot down and saying that the greatest trilogy of all time, although I will admit one of the 3 was not great, but the other 2 make up for it, and I'm talking about The Godfather. It is the OG of the gangster movie genre. It offers complexity and depth of characters. Corleone family, the mafia dynasty, and its patriarch Vito Corleone, portrayed throughout all movies. We all know that the 3rd movie sucked, but that that doesn't take away from movies 1 and 2.
In favor of
I can't. I got to be true to myself. The 3rd one stunk. Here's the thing the reason I picked this. I mean, yes, it was an accurate depiction of the, I guess, the arms and the lengths that the mob had control over as it went into Hollywood, obviously into Vegas with Mo Green. But this was the movie, I think, and not the first one, but in this style, a mob setting, that allowed you to become sympathetic for the villainous character. Whereas you felt the urge to cheer on the Corleone family, even though they were terrible people, awful humans. But you were on the side of the family. And I find that an incredible skill. And these came out in 1972. That was the first one. Smashed box office records for that time. The Godfather. That is my answer to what is the greatest trilogy of all time.
You know, I must say it's an odd approach to come out and say one of 3 of the movies, 33% of the trilogy sucked.
Yeah, it did.
So I got to say, I've never watched past the first Godfather, but the argument there is pretty solid to have some sympathy and to feel for truly evil family in a sense. Okay, Reid?
Well, first of all, a lot of respect for the Godfather trilogy. I believe both 1 and 2 won Academy Award for Best Picture. Clearly, the defining moments of, just more greatness from Brando displayed. You had younger Pacino, younger De Niro. Incredible. All right. So I'm first going to identify a couple of trilogies that I considered and I did not pick and why I didn't pick them. I am not picking Star Wars episodes 4, 5, and 6. Star Wars, The Empire Strikes Back, and Return to the Jedi.
Well, that's because there's a 1, 2, 3, and a 7, 8, 9.
That might be a personal favorite of mine. Star Wars, the first film I ever saw in the theater when I was 4 years old. Very emotional about it. I realize some things, perhaps the Ewoks and a couple other things don't stand up as well, for a modern or more mature audience. So I won't pick Star Wars. It's hard not to consider the Lord of the Rings trilogy for this. Having said that, I'm not going to pick that because I'm not just picking my favorite here. I'm picking something that you could recommend to almost anybody, and they would probably at least like it, if not love it. I think the fantasy setting and the length of the Lord of the Rings movies might be a deterrent for some people, even though that was masterful filmmaking by Peter Jackson and company. So I will therefore select the greatest trilogy of all time, made up of these 3 films: Raiders of the Lost Ark, Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom, and Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. I don't think there's a weak link in the bunch. I realize Temple of Doom sometimes might get the odd negative review or comment, but I still think it's an absolute blast with some of the action scenes. I mean, it has a rail chase in coal cars in which Indiana's car approaches a break in the rail and jumps a gap and lands perfectly on the rails on the other side. Incredible sequence. Raiders of the Lost Ark is just a well-told, well-made story. And then I remember when Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade came out, I saw it in theaters. I think I was 15. It's just an absolute blast. Yes, is there fan service? Sure, but I want to be serviced as a fan. You had Sean Connery jumping aboard as Indiana's father. Again, a fun story about them finding, what was it? It was the Holy Grail in the Last Crusade. And, the Nazis were the villains and all that kind of stuff. They're fun. They're action-packed, but they also have some emotional weight to them, I think, especially in The Last Crusade with Indiana's father. So that's why I think this is a great trilogy. It's great filmmaking. It's great storytelling. And I think the story and the special effects and the action still stands up to this day. And that's why I feel like I could safely recommend any Indiana Jones movie to pretty much any audience member of any age, and they would probably at least like it, if not love it.
All right, so just to summarize what we got so far, Jay, for picking his most favorite trilogy or the best trilogy of all time, chose The Godfather, and Reid just gave some points about why the Indiana Jones trilogy, the Raiders of the Lost Ark, Last Crusade, and the Temple of Doom, was and is the best trilogy. Do you guys have any final thoughts? Do you have a quick rebuttal, I guess, there, Jay?
No.
This was my favorite topic.
It was a very good topic, and I enjoyed hearing your guys' arguments. And, I must say, I'm taking full personal bias out of this. Though I have never seen The Godfather, there's a couple points that stand out to me. It's more for the mature group, right? And you got to be a little bit older to really, I guess, watch The Godfather. You're not going to watch The Godfather really with a 10 or 11 or maybe even 12-year-old. Some people might. I might have watched it when I was 12, but I think Indiana Jones is more of a family-friendly kind of vibe to it. They have, video games and Lego made of it and stuff. Like they have everything made Indiana Jones kind of based. So to be the best trilogy and to be the best of anything, it has to be open for a wide scope of consumers and enjoyers. And for that reason and solely that reason alone, I have to go with Reid, in this afternoon debate, choosing Indiana Jones as the best movie trilogy of all time.
Fair comment from VR Montenegro saying that Milne should win as his is a proper trilogy. Clearly, they added on 2 Indiana Jones movies well after the fact. And Jay and I talked about this a bit this afternoon. You know, there was Aliens, and Alien 3. And then there was Alien Resurrection and these other movies in the Alien universe, some combined with Predator and all that kind of stuff. But I think Alien 1, 2, and 3 is a very good trilogy. Back to the Future trilogy, some people might say that. I guess with
I
Star
thought you
Wars,
might go to the Back to the Future route.
but 2 and 3 got a little silly and busy for me.
That's what I circled for you.
You thought I was going to say Back to the Future? Never considered it.
No, Indiana Jones.
Oh, you knew I was going to pick Indiana Jones. How come? You know me that well already.
I think you would have got eaten alive for the Star Wars being a trilogy, given that there's 9 movies.
But there's 3 trilogies.
Wow.
And side movies. Solo, Rogue
but
One.
The Indiana Jones, I get that, what trilogy you were referencing. The one is obviously much newer. I was thinking of Toy Story.
You know what? Those are great films, but then now there's a 4th one.
Yeah.
But still, I think the first 3 are incredible.
Ocean's 11, 12, 13. Ocean's 12.
I would never go there. Yeah,
Ocean's 13
after
is
the
great.
first one. Really? I don't know if I bothered with it.
No, it's good. You should.
Okay.
It's really good.
Clooney's in it.
But Back to the Future, yeah. Back to the Future was one that people said. But, I'm starting to question if the moderator is the right moderator for this.
Wow.
That's twice you've awarded Reid when he's clearly... This was a trilogy debate. And he chose something that wasn't a trilogy.
Now, but it is. You can add on to it, right? Like
Then
it's still the third piece.
Then it's no longer a trilogy. Trilogy references 3.
But see, Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade ends with them riding off into the sunset. That's literally the last shot. And it was intended to be the final one. So I would argue that even though there were other Indiana Jones movies, that is a subset of 3 within all of them. You could have... Okay, for example, I know it's not just 3 movies, but the Daniel Craig subset in the James Bond series is its own subset. So you still might say, who's your favorite Bond?
Have a great weekend,
what's
fellas.
Your favorite set? I love you guys. Have your favorite set of movies within another series.
See, I could get behind that. But Harrison Ford is in all of these.
Yeah.
So that means there's 5 movies.
There are 5 Indiana Jones movies, but the first 3, to me, constitute a trilogy.
I don't know what.
And there's also another Oceans movie, Oceans 8. Big Uke has just pointed that one. Was that the one with the
girls'
women?
one?
Still an Oceans movie.
I know, but just as I just gave you credit for saying Daniel Craig set,
yeah,
that's what I was referencing, was the George Clooney, Brad Pitt Oceans 10, 11, 12. Or 11, 12, 13. Got it?
There's no way. I don't think anybody would consider that the greatest trilogy of all time.
I don't
even
say
think
it was
even
the greatest
biggest
trilogy. I said it was it's up for debate. It's in the conversation.
What about Pitch Perfect? That's what VR says. What about the Child's Play movies? I guess there's 4 of those. There's more than 3.
Yeah, I don't.
But the first 3, maybe. I don't know.
Back to the Future would probably, but that's the same thing where
are they going to make another one?
The common, I guess, perception is that the third one is the worst. The old-timey country one.
Yeah, I think so.
I think the biggest flack for me not choosing that it was the Godfather as the greatest trilogy, which you came and argued for. You flat out said, look, the third one was terrible.
It was.
And also it was made 20 years after. At least Indiana Jones is 80, 84, and 89 or something like that. So or 81, 84, 89.
Yeah, and the same with the Star Wars ones. They're
all grouped together, at least, yeah.
I would have fought for you for the Star Wars 4, 5, and 6, which when we were growing up, that was Star Wars.
That was Star Wars. That was all there was. You didn't have to specify which one.
I could see you fight for that, right?
But Bo Levi, by the way, has already thrown 4 touchdown passes, 27-0 Hamilton over Calgary, early second quarter.
Wow. Maybe that's why they left. Couldn't take it anymore.
Gager was disgusted.
Goof ups. We both committed a goof up earlier with our story about eating nuts and my face exploding and ballooning up. That was actually, what movie did you say that was from?
Oh, I said it was from Inner Space.
Yes, it was actually from Pure Luck.
Yeah, that's a huge mistake on my part.
1991 movie with Martin Short and Danny Glover.
I should have thought about that.
Is Danny Glover still alive? He should be.
I think he is.
I loved
And
Danny
his son
Glover.
is... What's his son? Is it Christian? No. Danny Glover is 78 years of age. And yes, he is alive.
Beautiful.
And what's his son's name? Isn't his son an actor? Maybe I'm confused. I could have the wrong Glover.
Twitter Mary says The Godfather and Rocky. Although we're into, is Rocky a trilogy? Mike the Michigan fan, hashtag fire Zach, hashtag Jay got screwed. Thank you, Mike the Michigan fan. The other trilogy, this comes in from Greg from Lacombe. The other trilogy I would lean towards is the original 3 Karate Kids.
Donald Glover is not related to Danny Glover. I'm an idiot. I just goofed that up too.
I always thought that too. I had to search that up as well. He's also Childish Gambino.
Yes,
Donald Glover.
Now, Zach, I do got to call you out on a goof up today that was highly noted, and it was it was funny. You referred to the Calgary Stampeders as the Calgary Stampeders.
Did I?
Oh, did you? 4 o'clock sports update.
I flubbed my words. I think I changed it to stamps for a couple of them just to make sure I didn't say Stampeders again. I didn't do that on purpose.
Here's the deal. Hello Hockey is 10 a.m. to noon tomorrow. The GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame show starts at 1. The Oilers play the Stars at 2, and then the boys will be back after the game with the Oil Stream post-game show. Hey, fun show, everybody. I hope you had a great week. Hope you have a great weekend ahead. On behalf of Zach Kubish and Jay Milne, I'm Reid Wilkins. Thanks for tuning in.
Get to know the winners, props, plays, parlays, and more with Nielson and Hustler. Weekday mornings at 11 on The Lock Shop. Only on EdmontonSportsTalk.com.